you doing? How are we doing with the quality on this stream? I would say we've been struggling the last couple. I've been struggling the last little bit with Discord and fucking doing the stream. Let's see how we're cooking. A little bit with Discord and fucking doing the stream. Alright, there we go. It looks like we're all good to go. What's up, chat? I gotta do a plug for this in the Emerald Open stream. In the Emerald Open Discord server. Hold on. Alright, what's up, Puff? Oh, why is the bitrate so slow? Damn it. Oh, I'd probably turn it down the last stream. Hold on. Hold on, chat. Sorry. Hold on, chat. This should be better. We got real. We got a real bitrate this time. This should be good now. Yeah, alright, cool. I don't know what it is about like the Discord app or whatever it is, but like the Discord app has been like terrible for like screen sharing and recording and everything the last little bit. Hold on, let me see if I got anything else I need to do before we get cooking on this. I think we can get cooking now. Let's add everyone, the players in the server. There we go. Fucking eat that at, buddy. That's what I fucking thought. They can eat an at. What's up, everyone in chat? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't done a lot of pre-work for this. I haven't looked at like many of the drafts besides my own this time around, so I don't actually know a lot of what other people have been doing. So that's hopefully what we can find out tonight. I already see Jake typing in general. He probably wants us to glaze his draft. That would be per expectation. Why is it still telling me my thing's slow? Okay, Discord, YouTube's just lying to me. All right. As I said, we don't have much of a plan here this time around. So we're just gonna start where we want to start. We're gonna start with my pool, actually. I think it's a good place to start because it's the pool I know the most about. Is my pool. Your team sucks. Does it really suck, John? I don't know, John. My team's pretty fucking good. If I'm gonna be honest with you, like I think, well, is my team good? I think my team's fine. I've had like worse teams in this tournament. Like I call back to my EO2 team where I drafted Melodic round 1, and like that's when we tend to forget, right? Like, let's forget that one. Third pick, Donphan. Explain yourself. Look, okay, one of the dude, Puff's in here. He better fucking back my ass up on this one. I think having double spinner is nice because you want Starmie to be able to do more than just function as a rapid spinner on this type of team. And you need, you obviously want good ground types in this format. It's third pick. Why am I getting hit? I got Glalie in round 4. Like, I still got value in round 4, right? Like, I got Miltank round 6. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I'm getting super hate. Like, look, I'm not the biggest Donphan guy of all time. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely not the biggest. It's certainly not. I'm not its biggest lover, but super hate is just asking questions. Dude, the reason, you know what? You asked the question, but I'll be honest, I don't like Donphan either. I think Donphan is kind of a trash mon sometimes. But that's just me, though. That's just me. I'm giving you crap because you seem insecure about it. Yeah. You know what, guys? You kind of cooked me on that one. I do have a little bit of worry about my draft, to be honest with you. I do have a little bit of concern with this team. So, we'll see. I'm not 100% confident in all of, like, the defensive play patterns. But we can get into the, like, if we look at this pool, like, it's funny because in this pool I helped the D-Ray put his team together, and like some of the ordering of this picks is really weird, but I kind of prefer his draft to my own. The only problem is that I think we wanted Dusclops for this draft, but we went for like Dodrio really early. Like, I don't know why we went for Dodrio this early, to be honest with you. I remember talking in the chat. I'm like, oh, we can get Quillfish, a Spiker, and like maybe Typhlosion. Like a good, like, I've been super high on Typhlosion recently. It's just like a 100 speed fire type. I think it's like pretty good in this format. It had a round 3 Dusclops. Okay, that's kind of what maybe I thought I got picked later because D-Ray is like, oh, we said draft Dusclops, we didn't get it. So I honestly thought we got sniped of it. But yeah, it must have just been like round 3 and I just like wasn't even locked in on that. Who was the guy who picked round 1 Swampert in this? Where's the round 1 Swampert team? I don't know who that is. But overall, I like this team. Like, these Raikou, Claydol, Hariyama teams are super, super cool. And I really like it. I think Dodrio's interesting. Like, Dodrio creates really good turns for Typhlosion. There are 2 round 1 perts. Yeah. I think, like, Dodrio creates a lot of really good turns for Typhlosion, which is nice. And then, like, you have a lot of good things, like Meganium, I'm, like, super high on. I think, like, this team does rely a lot on... This team might have difficulty setting up Raikou endgames, but, like, I think it has all the tools that you would want. I don't know, Swampert, I mean, look, we could say what we want about Swampert in round 1. I drafted a fucking Melodic round 1 once, and Swampert's definitely better than Melodic, I think, maybe. I don't know, I'm not 100% sure on that, but as a round 1 pick, maybe. Round 1 Crobat. Then 4 variable buddies. Yeah. What else is in this pool? We have Lax D-Knight, which is pretty interesting. There's Blaziken. I'm still unsure if Blaziken's a trap or not in ADV draft. I've drafted so much Blaziken, and on paper in a matchup, Blaziken always looks fire. It looks like broken in every matchup, and then just like feels like it doesn't do anything. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad. Blaziken is him. Maybe, I don't know, man. Blaziken feels like it's like an OU, right? Like back, like when you're like first getting into you're first getting into ADV OU. Blaziken looks broken in ADV OU, right? Like it breaks Blissey, it breaks Skarmory, and then just like, I don't know, it feels like it lacks, it doesn't do enough. Round 1 Arrow, worse point value than Crobat. Are we gonna talk about Arrow agenda in ADV today? Is that we're not getting there yet? We don't have an Arrow in this pool. It's too strong. Don't let the Russians win. True. They've won too much the last couple of days. What else is in this pool? We have another Raikou team. This is... Do we have no Baton Passer on this Metacham team? I'm always like super concerned. We're gonna get there. We're starting with my pool just like quickly. I obviously don't want to go too deep because I've like deeped the matchups a little bit, and obviously don't want to give away anything that I plan on building. But this team feels like we don't Like, if I'm building Metacham teams, I want something like a round 1 Zapdos or something, or like good baton passers to get it in, and I feel like this team just doesn't have good ways to get this Pokemon in as often as you would like. And then this team over here seems like draft order is interesting. Yeah, Blaziken is a good anti-meta pick. I feel like it's kind of like in the same idea as Houndoom. It's kind of anti-meta. Crobat is Arrow, but worse. Bold. Explosion is one-time baton. Yeah, our baton pass is Boom with Exeggutor, which is, yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, this team looks like there's a Fortress early. I don't know if I like that. I think Jolteon, I'm kind of coming around on Jolteon a little more. I think that mon's good. Marowak is like low-key really hard to switch into as well. And then you have the Dusclops spin blocker, which, yeah, against Fortress is fine. I thought the 9 points for Fortress is okay. I think like Fortress is finally starting to get to a point where it's at a price point where I'm okay with drafting it. Blaziken feels worse than Skarnbliss in every team. The thing is, yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these teams, though, like, have things that you can exploit with Blaziken, right? Like, let's just take Blaziken against this pool. Like, let's look at Blaziken from, like, this pool side. Like, Blaziken's pretty good into, like, Glalie, Miltank, Tyranitar. Like, it's got a lot of good things it can click into. Like, I have, like, a decent check in Starmie, but, like, you catch it with a... You can catch Starmie with the right hit at the right time. Speed is the issue here, yeah, because like you can do that to Starmie, that speeds and kills you. If you look in this matchup, yeah, it's pretty good here against in like the C matchup as well. I think it's probably going to struggle against the D team. I don't like Blaziken here. It doesn't really do a lot, unfortunately, in this in this battle. And then against D-Ray's team, it looks to struggle. All right, so it's maybe like 50-50 here probably in this pool to do well. Streamer, look at my pool. We're going to do pool 2 next because that was asked first. And then maybe we'll do your pool, Ellen, if you really want to. Oh my god, is this thing... Hold on. Count on me to like screw this up. Off rip, right? To not have it set up to where I can show... Okay, perfect. There we go. That works. What's the whole point of having a wrench? True. It's actually kind of crazy that you and Kaz are the only mods here. We gotta get more mods here. Oh, and John is a mod, I guess. Technically, that's true. Yeah. We need to strengthen the mod team. Don't leak? What am I leaking, bro? What was on this stream? The only thing I leaked is I was listening to Lizzie McAlpine earlier, which probably counts as a leak. Oh, there are results here. Uh-oh. All right, what do we got? We got pool 2. That wasn't to you, little bro. Yeah, okay, good one. All right, chat. Let me get my notepad here because people are putting pools in chat to request, and I'm gonna get to them, but I gotta write them down. So we got pool 2 now. We got OG Albino pool. So OG Albino, what pool did we put? We have 63 and 59. All right, so we're gonna do pool 2, Owen's pool. 63, 59, and 5. That's what I see in chat. We're gonna get through those 5, and then we'll take more requests after the fact to do pools. 64. Okay. Fun stream. I was wrong about my pool. I'm 12. Okay. Sure. We'll move to 12. All right. Let's see what we got here on pool 12. So pool 12. I'm gonna make it so they're always the best I can at the top of the list. What do we got here? We see another men's melodic Jolteon team. We see round 4 Donphan. I like this first team. This first team is pretty cool in this pool. I think there's like a really good defensive backbone. I love Houndoom. I was like, one of the things I was really looking for going into this draft was, yeah, true. Shout out to Owen, by the way. If you're here, hit the like button. If you haven't, only 12 likes, 50, there's 51 people in here somehow, which is kind of crazy with it. So hit the like button. We got to get more than 12. I would like, one of the things I was like looking at most coming into this draft that I felt like, I don't know if it was underexplored. I was really looking at what type of fast fire types you could use to take advantage of in this format. I tried a Speed Tour-ish with Houndoom. I didn't do well in it because I didn't put together a cohesive team. I was really just looking to try a variety of things. I feel like Houndoom low-key for 8 points is like a really good Pokemon. And like that and Typhlosion were Pokemon I'm really looking at. Because I feel like Blaziken is supposed to fit that role. It could fit that role. But like I think we were talking about the speed being a problem earlier. I kind of like this team. Donphan, Dusclops, like a good reliable spin blocker that's not like... Its HP is nasty versus Waters. I think part of it also is Celebi has like crept up recently. So you get a Celebi pool here, which is nice. And like the ground type here, we have like a similar team comp here with Jolteon and Dusclops defensive core. But like if you look at the Houndoom against this Celebi team, like it's actually really good into this team. The ground type does actually take a lot from Houndoom, depending. Here, like you do get checked by Blaziken, but you have like a Melodic here as well as an answer. Like I actually kind of like Houndoom here. It looks pretty good. So we got Cammy's team. What does Cammy have? We got Tyranitar, Zapdos. So we got like 2 round 1 quality picks. How reliable are Endure sets? Endure set, so Endure and specifically Salac are some of your best ways at actually having speed control in this format. The problem is, like looking at Cammy's team, we got Tyranitar here. So like Tyranitar, you're gonna like not have Endure as like an option, like an 1/8 of your battles, which can be a problem. But like Endure Salac is like one of your better ways of actually having speed control in this format. So like Tyranitar, Zapdos, so we got like 2 round 1 Pokemon here. So like we got to be happy about this, right? Like this is a good start here. Vaporeon is a decent bulky water. Machamp, I love Machamp as a lead. Honestly, like I feel like CB Machamp is like one of the best leads that I've kind of run into in ADV. There's not a lot of things that can switch into this well. Like usually it's gonna have to be a ghost type, but you can pretty aggressively click HP Ghost into this team. Like if you look at this in Team A, like I mean, are you gonna switch your Chansey into hit the HP Ghost? Like, are you really gonna do that? Like, I don't know, maybe, but like, that's what I mean. Like, you gotta like as a lead is so powerful. I was considering drafting Entei. I was told not to by the powers that be in the Hoenn Classic Deep State chat to not touch Entei. I tried Entei once before. I didn't like it. But I was willing to give it another try again. So that might be the only thing I don't like on this team necessarily. Venusaur is pretty good as well. I like this team. I like this team a lot. I think, as I said, I think Machamp is an awesome lead. And then that, like, just breaking holes. Like, eventually you're just going to win with Tyranitar with a team with Zapdos, Machamp, Entei, like, Venusaur to, like, wear down opposition. And then you have, like, really good wish support and Vaporeon to enable, like, aggressive Machamp switch-ins. Fast fire type, Arcanine moment. True. I mean, Arcanine functions a little bit differently. What else do we have in this pool? Is this another Medicham team without Baton Pass? Man, we gotta stop drafting Medicham without Baton Pass, right? Like, it's 14 points. Like, we have to have a way to consistently get this Pokemon in. And maybe I'm, like, tunneling on that idea, but I feel like Medicham is so good if you can ever get it in for free and you're not forced to click recover all of the time. Yeah, you know what? I knew I said that. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I know I mentioned that. I know Pythons is gonna wake up, come out of the woodworks. We talk about Medicham Pythons, they'll pipe up at any given point to join in on the Medicham love. Yeah, the Baton Pass explosion. Yeah, I mean that's kind of unfortunate there, but like Starmie Mensa is like really good, and then Chansey's pretty good for 10 points. Double in Medicham. Look, if you double you can be him. And just double Medicham all the time. I respect that, but I don't know. I feel like you want, like, especially where these games can go long into like the 50, 60 turns, you're not going to get the double correctly all of the time. Like, she was sniping me because I logged Zapdug. Yeah, Zapdug and Medicham is nasty. If you get a team like that, that team is crazy. What else do we got? Lax D-Knight, another really good core. Seymour Lax D-Knight. Late Gengar. I'm surprised Gengar went this late. I know Gengar is like getting not getting as much love recently due to the fact that it's like dropped in points. I think people are kind of coming around on this Pokemon not doing a lot. But I figured 13 points, like, kind of want to take that. That's another Machamp here too. Jolteon stocks are up. Quagsire at a good price point. Or Fortress at a good price point. I don't like the Quagsire though. And then this team here is kind of is interesting as well. Gyarados is at 13 now. Feel like another pretty good team here to see, but this will be I think this is a pretty good pool. Like, I really like, Cammy, your team. I like John's team over here a lot. I think Charcu's team, man, we really wanted a Baton Passer here, and I like Coconut's team. I think I like at least like 3 out of these teams here, so this will be a pretty good pool. I think like in this draft, like this will definitely be one. Okay, of course I open a message with a stream request. All right, what was OGL minus pool? Owen, what was your pool? I know you're in chat still. Pull up. Tell me what your pool number was so we can go to yours next. I'm mocking. You 60 something? Okay. I feel like we had this discussion about your pool number, but maybe not. 61. Of course, I went to the wrong tab. I did. You are 61. Let's go. Oh, we got Kai. All right, so we got Kaif in this pool. Shout out to pool, what was it, 43, by the way. I think we like literally started like going through the actual draft on the Sunday and got finished like before 8 other pools. So shout out pool 43, getting out of round 1 on Sunday and finishing before other pools. We got a round 1 arrow here. All right, let's focus in on our good pal OG Albina's draft. We got a Dragonair spotted. Dude, shout out to Kaz for freaking cooking my ass with a Dragonair. In what was it, Hoenn Classic? Dude, I remember I was on vacation, going to a wedding, wake up before everyone in the B&B, pull out my laptop, get everything going for Emerald Wi-Fi battle, and get Dragonaired. So sad, really. Owen's got some classic guys though. Love Glalie, obviously. I love Blastoise too. I love Blastoise as a spinner in this format. Dude, Owen's got all the Pokemon I like, man. Like, this is, dude, I'm surprised I didn't draft this team. Late Dougie is super nice here too. There's a lot of things you can pick off with that to enable your Tyranitar, which is pretty nice. Meganium is obviously good. Like, this team, like, dude, I would hate, dude, if I'm Kaif, dude, all I'm gonna say, man, if I'm Kaif right now, I hate to see Owen's team coming if I got a Raikou. I hate to see Owen's team coming if I'm a Raikou drafter right now. And Kaif might be in a little bit of trouble here when he sees a Blastoise. Look, I love Blastoise, man. Like, Blastoise and ADV and SV are pretty fire. Yeah, the Dragonair Legacy game. Yeah, this game. Dude, the worst part was... Oh my god. All right, voice crack counter 1. What's funny, Kaz, about that game is I'm pretty sure you weren't Shedskin and I missed the Toxic. Thinking I was like, dude, I just got to get some damage on this guy. That's how down bad I was to Dragonair. I didn't know what Gen 9 was bait. Break out the voice crack counter. Dude, I'm too old to be voice cracking like this. That's crazy work. You have to deal with triple Snorlax? Yeah, here we go. That's a classic. I mean, that's the classic ADV draft moment. There's gonna be a lot of these like multi-Pokemon pools. And Snorlax is definitely not a fun one to prep against a million times because the prep, usually your prep is pretty consistent. So if you play it like third, people usually see your prep pretty consistently. But yeah, Blastoise and SV, fire. Fire, fire, fire. I love Blastoise and SV too. What else we got here? So I like Owen's team. Owen's team is a team I would draft. I didn't actually help him with that, by the way. Kaif's team is pretty good as well. Raikou, Melodic, Dragonite, Machamp. Like, this is like a really, really solid team offensively. You have Ninjask for Mickey Pass, so like that's one of the aspects for those who play a lot of Draft League, but don't play a lot of ADV Draft League. There is Baton Pass, and you can Baton Pass stats. So Baton Passing speed onto Machamp. Yeah, good call, Scrap. That's kind of danger, honestly. We got Chinchou. We have seen Chinchou before pull up. I know Zio had it. Was it last Zio that Zio had it on a team? Ninjask is late. Yeah, Ninjask is kind of late. Look, I think Baton Pass is like a feature of this format, not a bug. Obviously, Ninja's Pass can be like kind of whatever. But like I think it adds an interesting depth to this format. It adds like more speed control that like the format just doesn't generally have access to without like Choice Scarf and stuff. Ninjas is a bug. Thank you, Pythons, for clarifying that. And then we got like Sableye. I think Sableye is probably one of the weaker spin blockers. B. There's a Primeape here. This looks like a team I would half draft. Like, I love a Mischievous Meganium Primeape Gambit here. But, like, we just, like, how many points did we leave on the board here? What is this? 25, 34, 45, 54, 62. We left, like, did we leave, like, 15, 16 points on the board here? Probably could have got some, probably could have got a few more Pokemon here. Bro, did we leave? Dude, what is this leave point on the board draft pool? What is this? We got T-Tar, round 2 for Alligator, by the way. Keegan and Primeape. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Owen must have paid to get 2 people who didn't use all their points. This is crazy. Oh, here we go. This team on D is pretty fire. OG Albino knows ball better than Keegan. That's not true. Owen doesn't know shit. Metagross Zard. I like this team. Zam at 13 points is okay. I feel that Pokemon maybe still a little overrated. We got a Goat Glalie though. Haunter as a spin blocker is maybe not the best. But I feel like people like just don't respect Haunter in this like spin blocking game. So maybe like he can get good turns out of it. And then Hitmonchan's like an okay spinner. Yeah, round 2 for Alligator. Look, I mean, hey, look, if people can make their own decisions, I would probably personally not have done that. All right, someone requested 62. We're going to get to that. We're going to 63 next anyway. We're staying on this in these pages for a while. All right, so 63. So we're actually literally at the next pool. So we got Zeo, just talking about Zeo earlier. What else we got here? We got Austrian Georgia. This is a pretty good pool. And Sylvan, like it doesn't, yeah, for 4 points, you got enough going on with it, right? Like it does just enough for what you're looking for out of that kind of Pokemon. 63. We got Metagross, D-Knight. Can you please review 69? All right. I got you, Woball. I don't know how many of these we're going to do. I roughly planned 2 hours of doing this, so we'll see how many we get through. What do you got for this pool? Metagross D-Knight is pretty good. We got Roselia as a spiker, which is not perfect. I'm not a big Roselia fan in like almost any format, realistically. But like Metagross D-Knight is like pretty powerful offensively. Jolteon, great speed option to have. Gyarados feels like it should be good here. Are you happy with your matchups? Yeah, I covered them at the start. I'm overall content, I think. I think I've got some bad matchups. It's funny, I think my worst matchup is the team I helped build with D-Ray. Excuse me, which is, I mean, pretty funny. Like, you know, I help D-Ray with this team, and I end up playing him, and it has a good matchup. Funny how that works sometimes. But I think overall, I think I have okay matchups this time around. Certainly enough to get like 2 wins and get like certainly enough to get out of pools, I think. The Gyarados is good. I really like Tauros as well in ADV. Like, hits a really nice speed tier, and like normal type attackers are pretty good here. That's a good sign if the team you help build is here in matchup. Yeah, it kind of says, you know, positive for me, I guess, in terms of like my drafting in ADV. Maybe I would have liked to have the Raikou team myself. Who do you think is the most underrated Mon in ADV Draft League? I'm trying to think. That's a good question. Get back. We'll explore that at the end. Zeo, Tyranitar, Blissey, Moltres, Glalie. I love Moltres. Moltres, it's Demon Cradle. Dude, it might low-key be Cradily. No, it's not. I use Cradily. It's just okay. This answer's about to be heinous. Keep that one in the tank. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It's like, I haven't really thought of like what a true underrated Pokemon is in this format. I love Moltres, Glalie. Flygon, if we want to talk about overrated, we can talk about Flygon. That Pokemon is crazy. crazy overrated and it's somehow on all these winning teams, and like it just kind of takes up space on the builder. How many Duskulls were drafted? I don't know. We'd have to ask God. The anti-Flygon propaganda has been pretty successful. True. We finally got people to stop taking this guy seriously. We have Sableye and Mawile. We have both sides of that duo, the version exclusive duo. And then we have Armaldo. Armaldo's pretty good, actually. I want to see more of Armaldo, I think. I'd like to see what the thoughts are on the OU players draft. Mana Triangles, H-Clat and that. And McMegan. Yeah, we can get to their drafts at some point. We have the list to get to here, but if we remember, we'll get to there. We see a Celebi draft here, Jolteon, another Machamp. I don't know if Machamp's underrated or not. I feel like Machamp is like rated, but it is, you know what I mean. Like I feel like Machamp is like something that people are like kind of on right now. Blastoise, Scizor is a weird Pokemon in ADV. Oh, sorry about the key noise. Just yeah, the Machamp stocks are finally catching up. I'm guessing there's still like 300 drafts to get through. We're kind of going all over the place. I don't know if we're going to get everywhere. J-Ricky isn't trying to qualify for the home. J-Ricky is too busy winning Draft Premier League to worry about the home draft invitational, unfortunately. Bro, why is Smeargle 9 points? I guess it's a baton pass fiend, but that guy's not that great. Scizor, the problem I have with Scizor is like your best stab means you can't run baton pass. Realistic with like any like other type of setup move, it creates like weird, like Silver Wind like creates like weird situations with the baton pass. So I don't like it. Spore is broken. That's true. You're a deadbeat dad. That's crazy work. Dude, I'll be honest, like my perspective on the tier and what's like in the tiers, bro, I forget all the time. I gotta play Classic. Are you gonna give me Papoon slot this year in Hoenn Classic, Kaz, in the upcoming summer season? And are you gonna finally remove Gen 7 from Classic again? Dude, chat, we got 23 likes and we got 51 viewers. We gotta hit at least 30, right? In this call to action. Papoon has Papoon slot. We're taking Papoon slot. He lost it. Yeah, let's see if we can hit 30 in this call to action. What do we got next? This is I like Drip Legends team here. Yes, come to action. It's crazy. Make Classic 280V slots. Made his chances somehow worse. That's crazy. That's crazy that Papoon somehow stocks went down. Dude, Tiro speaking my language. We don't, nobody wants to be playing Gen 7. I like Drip Legends team a lot. Raikou, Gengar, Melodic, Machamp, Glalie, Kangaskhan. Damn. Now that's a top 6 that I would like to draft. Alright, Kadabra. You want to talk about underrated Pokemon? I found my underrated answer. I was thinking about this Pokemon. I drafted this Pokemon before. I think Kadabra for 5 points. W Pokemon. Great Pokemon for 5 points. Kadabra. Like the speed is low key, like super useful. And it like actually does like real damage for 5 points. Now, alright. Now now does it die to like everything? Potentially. But I think for 5 points, like it's actually got valid speed and it's pretty good. No way you said Kadabra, bro. I don't know. Like, give me a better underrated Pokemon than Kadabra. Put 2 on the counter for the voice cracks. This team is Vaporeon first round, which is question mark. Is Espeon? I feel like people rate Espeon though. No, like as like a baton pass threat. I feel like people are all over Espeon. Like I've seen, at least when like I was watching the classic games, I feel like Espeon was like pretty good there. I don't know if people have drafted it a lot here. We have to get the stats going. Does it get drafted a lot? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That might be something to look out for. 5 points for an Encore faster than with Seam setup sweepers can be good. See, J-Fane gets it. J-Fane gets it. Panda, I need an apology. I'm going to start calling you Robert Panda. Kaleido's pretty good. Slacking for 7 points is a real underrated Psyche. Slowbro is hella underrated. I'll be honest. Slowbro is hella underrated. Slacking... Well, we probably didn't need to draft Slacking this early. I see the vision of some things that Slacking can do, but maybe not here. Glalie Dougie is pretty good, obviously. Breloom is, like, obviously Spore is pretty good. Kingdra and then Electrode. Like, this team kind of came together, even though we drafted, like, Slacking round 4 and, like, Vaporeon round 13. The problem I have with this team is that, like, where are we getting, like, our damage, right? Like, we have a lot of, like, weird offense to position with Dugtrio Kingdra. Which I'm not necessarily a super big fan of. Yeah, not having like the top tier attacker. Like if we remove the slacking and had like an offensive Pokemon in the first round and just went with the rest of this team, that's how I feel. Buddy doing a serious analysis of round 1 Vaporeon team. Look, we got to give every team a shot, right? All right, like we got plenty of time, bro. We got so much time left in the evening, right? We can give everything an analysis. All right, 59 right here. We got Shadow Jake. Is this pool? That team's making bracket. True. All right, pool 59 is the one at the bottom here. So I'm trying to get all the teams at the top. I'll tell you when we're looking somewhere else. You misread my 63 or 64. Oh, I did read the message after. All right, we'll get to 64 after here. I'll do that. My apologies. 59. What do we got here? Do pool 57. It's right there. All right, Jake, whatever. We'll do your pool next. Quit crying. What do we got here in pool 59? Snorlax. I'm team A. Okay, let's see what your team is like. We got Snorlax, Blastoise, Zam. Decent start. I think Lax is obviously pretty good. Blastoise is important to like give your Snorlax longevity. What's the favorite team that I've seen so far? I guess I should keep a list of that, right? I should probably keep a list. It's probably Drip Legends team so far, I would say. Mainly because like this is the type of team that I would love to draft. Like this is such a like this team screams me. I feel like this is like Drip Legend team. Maybe get like a different guy than Mightyena, but I think Drip Legend takes the cake so far with my favorite team. We have Heracross. Heracross has kind of been on fraud watch a little bit the last little bit. Yeah, I think Blastoise round 2, like sometimes you gotta like, I mean, like you got Zam round 2, like if you just switch them around, like you're probably fine with that. I think Blastoise is like pretty good, so like I don't mind like reaching up for a spinner that like serves a lot of roles, especially where you have Lax. You have a lot of power in that first pick anyway, and a lot of things are cheaper now, so you can get a lot of good value down the board. Heracross, I feel like it's been on fraud watch. Zern has been like super hating on it like recently. I feel like every time Heracross gets like mentioned, Zern like comes out of the woodworks. He wakes up on Discord and like says something mean about it. Yeah, it's a decent physical breaker. I think like part of it is like Heracross is like so susceptible to hidden power, flying, and like it gets like randomly checked by like a lot of things. Like fighting Bug Stab is like kind of awkward together. Regirock is pretty good. I like Lantern. I think this team's okay. I think like where I would like to see this team improve is like having a mid speed tier option, like that's maybe a little bit better than Heracross. But overall, I think that makes it pretty good. So what other pools do we have? We got 3 and 33 were requested. I'm gonna try to get to everyone's the best that I can. And 64. I have 64 on the list already, Krikoff. I got you on that one. People glaze Machamp for low kick being so strong, but it's Mega Horn strong at best. True. What else do we got in this pool? Skarmory Mence. Skarmory Mence is pretty good. First 2 picks. This is one of our Espeon drafters here. This is a weird draft order, honestly. I don't know how we kind of like went maybe a little bit off the rails with this order. I'm not super high on this team, I don't think. Like Lantern 3 probably could have been better. Tauros is like pretty good. The battle pool or draft pool. We're looking at battle pools. Are the draft pools even public? Oh yeah, we're looking at battle pools because like one thing we were also trying to get a perspective on when we're looking at these teams is also like a little bit if it makes sense to like look at their matchups, especially if we see like interesting Pokemon or like targeted tech, like we can look at different matchups and stuff. Dusclops is pretty good. And then we got another Heracross here. Bro, why does this pool have 3 Heracross in it? All of the Heracross Raptors ended up in one pool. That's crazy. No, draft pools are, yeah, the draft pools aren't public right now. And like talking about drafting theory is not as fun as talking about like the battles. Yeah, Heracross is weird. Like if we look at let's take a look at like these Heracross matchups, right? Like if I'm a Heracross drafter, like in this pool, the Talk Crash and Mobile too many tabs open. There's also that. Like if I'm a Heracross drafter, Battle Pool 22 is stacked. Yeah, we can look at 22 as well. Like if I'm a Heracross drafter, what am I running into, right? Like I'm running into Gligar here, Altaria, like I'm running into Skarmory, this thing, I'm running into Fortress, like I'm running into multiple, like man, like Heracross hates to see this pool coming, and there's 3 of them in this pool, right? Like this is like, feels like danger. Like Heracross just gets balled up here in every matchup. Unfortunately, we got Celebi, Jolteon, Swampert, pretty good top 3. Fortress at 9, decent. We got Typhlosion. Shout out Typhlosion. That's my big pick here for EO. I think Typhlosion and Houndoom are going to be the two big W's. 36, yeah, we'll get to 36 as well. I think like Typhlosion and Houndoom are my 2 picks for the biggest risers in like this EO for like Pokemon that like perform well. And then Zapdos, Starmie, Hariyama is pretty good. More Regirock. This team is pretty good as well. Yeah, I like this team. I was thinking like maybe you want another attacker. An unusually high number of Houndooms drafted this CO. I feel like I noticed. I think part of it is that like Celebi, like if you look at the new price is good, and like if you look at how people are drafting, you look at the board, Celebi moving up to 18 kind of speaks to that Pokemon rising in popularity. And I feel like Houndoom has like, and Fires in general have a lot of decent matchups here, and it is like a pretty good hard counter to one of the 18s, which is good value. Now a lot of it's like utility in OU is like trapping Gengar, and Gengar is now on Fraud Watch, but yeah, I think Houndoom might be, I'm curious to see what the win rate is with that Pokemon at the end of pools at least. All right, so we did 59. What are we at? 5? Let's go back to 5. Let's go all the way over here. It just has to go physical. Yeah, but how many people are gonna like go physical or like see physical sets like in the builder? You know what I mean? Oh my god, are we looking at a... Don't tell me we're looking at a pool of Scraf in it. God Scraf, let's go. That's my goat. Hold on. There we go. Shout out Scraf. Dude, Scraf's been cooking. Oh, hold on, I scrolled too far. Shout out Scraf cooking early on in EO. Dude, it's funny. Scraf was like dooming earlier in chat about losing his first game. 30 minutes later, just run it back. Get that win back. Already up to 1-on-1. +3 differential. That's my goat. 1 point Grovyle, by the way. Pretty okay value. What do we got here on this team? Oh, see, Scraf? Scraf's been listening. This is what you do with your Medicham teams. You got to draft that baton passer. Shout out to Zapdos Medicham. Maybe, you know, if we got Dougie, maybe we're really cooking here. But Zapdos Medicham obviously is like kind of like the classic, right? Like way to enable Medicham here. We can talk about Scraf's other matchups here. Like let's take a look at some of these other teams. So Scraf lost to the Zap Dougie team. This team is pretty shiced. This Zap Dougie Regice Moltres team. I love that top 4 actually. Regice is like low key for 14 points. Like Regice is for 14 is low key kind of crazy. I know we had discussed moving it up. We discussed moving it up at this EO, I think to 15, and I think we could have made a good argument to do that. So like I think like that's a really good Pokemon. Moltres for 13 I like a lot as well. Scraf loses 1 game. I should quit signing up for tours. And then 5-0s. Yeah, W Scraf. That's my goat. We love our goat Scraf. Putting a win on the database. The other picks leave a little bit to be desired. I love Lunatone. I'm gonna put a hot take out there. I was getting shit in my pool chat for saying this, or like one of the pools that is modding. I think Scrap was giving me shit for it. Lunatone has more drip than Solrock, and you can't convince me otherwise. Let's look at some of the other pools. We got Fat Halpert's team. Fat Halpert has got... How do I feel about Fat Halpert's team? We got like... I feel like overall we have a well-rounded team, right? I think they're pretty... Nah, they're pretty... Nah, Lunatone's drip is way higher. Skarmory round 1 for 15. I think like people like are kind of hating on Skarmory a little bit. For 15 points, man, Skarmory's pretty good friggin' value. Like, you take that all day, right? If you're drafting, like 15 points Skarmory's a W. Starmie is great round 2. Like you're like Skarmory, Starmie, you're like your pick 8, like whatever, like that's fine. You know what I mean? Like sure, like your pick 8, you can't get any of these top guys. Starmie's great. Like you're winning the Hazard War here, like super consistently with this team. Draft them a champ, really, really good way to like break through teams with hazard pressure. Oh, and then this is where we drafted Flygon, look, which is Flygon. Flip the input and people will call fine. True. Do people see? Easy to say with your draft pool. Flygon feels like a bum when building. Yes, I was about to say. I don't know. I feel like Umbreon is kind of a bum too, but I feel like Mischievous and Sceptile are pretty cool. That I like that. And then we got. What's the Torkoal vision, Fat Halpert? I gotta know what we're thinking with Torkoal here. what are we cooking here? Mischievous is epic, so true. I love Mischievous. Explosion? Okay, 2-point exploder is fine. What else do we got here? Let's go to this team. We got Double Dragon, but the round 2 Flygon. We got, this is like, I'm sorry SM Horizon, if you're here. You might have drafted the fraud team of all time. I'm sorry to say, SM Horizon, but we got Flygon, Umbreon, Entei, Heracross. This is like unfortunately we drafted the Charlotte Hornets this time around. I'm sad to say, but that's what it looks like we got here. Yeah, mentioning on look, Double Dragon, maybe fire, but I don't know. It is what it is. Raven, Salamence, Skarmory, the Drewski Pistons, Scrap Blasted. Yeah, he did. Yeah, looking at the the Drewski Pistons is crazy. Why do we draft? This is another weird team. One for us let's think about trying. True. Men's Skarmory, Steelix. I don't like that pick a lot. Entei. This team feels like it's like missing a breaker. Like it feels like our only way to deal damage is Salamence, which is not great. Unless like we run like more offensive Venus, which is possible. Lix is cool, but like we are like not. I don't know if we draft Lix with Skarmory. Dude, D-Ray, you're talking about shit. Dude, D-Ray, I'm not gonna lie. We're glazing. I was glazing your draft, but I was glazing your draft because I helped you draft it. Dude, I had to give the love for your draft because it was me. I took maybe a little bit more credit than I maybe should have for that draft. But hey, I'll do it. If my worst matchup is the team I drafted, look, I'll take that in a draft any day. That'll make me feel better about myself. For sure. Might be pool 11 time. I'll put that on the list. Pool 11 is like pretty far down the list, unfortunately. We got a lot of people who have requested a lot of pools. Lix's Roar support could be okay. I feel like it does the same as Skarm, but it doesn't spike. Prepping you match Speed Tower and all but one. Wild. Yeah, it's going to be a key 2.0. True. All right, where are we? Back up to 62. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you got a pool mod of OG Albina? I'm sorry. Oh, we got a killer ASCII pool? That's my fucking goat. We love a good killer ASCII pool. I think MathX was the one who suggested we do this pool. Ooh, MathX Houndoom Drafter. Houndoom locked and loaded. What do we think about this team? If there's a list, can we throw 44? Yeah, we'll put 44 at the end. 44 is 67, all right. I'm going to give you, can you guys see, like if I show the list? One review, 17, okay. I'm going to show, all right, chat. If I would say, can you see the list? We got a long list here to go, so I'll probably ask in like an hour for more pools, or like half an hour for more pools, because we got a lot of them on the list we haven't gotten to yet. All right, let's look at Mathex's team because I'm like 90% sure it was them who requested it. Swampert Arrow, first 2 picks. Was this like a back wheel? I feel like this is like a back wheel kind of setup. Which if it's a back wheel, I'm okay. I like that. Swampert round 1. I think people were making fun of it earlier, but I think like Arrow Swampert, like you're okay with that. I think you get Regice, really good value in round 3. Espeon round 4 is pretty good. Yeah, it was okay. If the Yep is to back wheel, then yeah, that makes sense here. Breloom was pretty good. I don't know how I want to feel about Breloom, right? Like Spore is like, I feel like Spore is like broken, but I always get weird about these Pokemon like weak to random HP flyings. I don't know. I feel like that's such a free type for a lot of offensive Pokemon to just like have a flying spam option. We got Misdreavus, love Misdreavus, and I love Houndoom. Houndoom seems like particularly useful on this team. Like you can like breaking Celebi seems like actually pretty important here for this team. Like Celebi actually has like a pretty okay matchup, or has like actually like a pretty good matchup. So like breaking Celebi here for this team is like pretty good. We'll look at Killer Assie's team next. Killer, what are we doing? What are some of these picks, man? What are these picks, Killer? All right, we got Raikou, Melodic Alakazam. We started off hot. What is this Umbreon doing? Where is he? Bro, where is Killer? We gotta fucking beat his ass in the comments. For freaking putting in, for drafting Umbreon. Hold on, I'm lost on my thing. Meow meow. What's up, Seizo? Umbreon living the life for 10 points. Yeah. Forretress, okay for 9. Weezing. A lot of people drafting Weezing. I think Weezing's pretty good. Hitmonlee. Chat, let's do a poll. I gotta know. Where is your sign up? Dude, he signed up. He's in, he's in Jason's pool, I think? No, he's in someone else's pool. Hold on. How do I do a poll here? Hold on, chat. Oh, the plus is down here. Start a poll. Chat, I gotta ask a question. Zazo's L5. Yes, that's who I was talking to. Alright, we gotta ask the real questions, chat. I gotta know what the chat thinks. Let's throw this poll up. What's better, Hitmonlee or Primeape? For the value, of course. Put your response in chat. I gotta know. Foresight, yeah, Zazo L5 is gonna be a really good battle. I don't know if wow, alright. My Primeape Glaze looks to have fallen pretty quickly, so let's forget that I even put that up there. And then Golem is just decent value at the end. Let's look at the other drafts in this pool. We got Metagross, Melodic. We got another Flygon. We got Blaziken. This team feels like, what's the benefit of Primeape over Lee? You get like probably a Pokemon that's like equally as good and you save a couple points. You save like 3 points. You lose out on spin, but I feel like how do you even spin with Hitmonlee, right? Like how can you even force those positions effectively? I think it's just a point thing. The speed and the points. That's just me though. I wouldn't be, call you crazy if you thought Hitmonlee was better. I just wanted to see if people like Primeape, and they don't. It's sad to see. Excuse me. Main advantage of Hitmonlee is dramatically stronger. True, maybe. Main benefit of Primeape is it has infinitely more drip. Alright, let's look at this team. Metagross, Melodic. I don't like Flygon. This feels like we have a lot of like kind of mid guys, like Flygon, Blaziken. I feel like Gardevoir is actually pretty cool. I don't know. That's a Pokemon that's always been on my radar to try, but I've never had like a good reason to draft it. We got a super late Claydol here. And man, I feel like this team, like, we end up with Claydol late. I feel like we should have just like taken Claydol over Flygon and it's just gone another direction later in the draft. That's kind of where my head's at, right? Like, I think if like Claydol was pick 3, you get another breaker that's like a little bit better than Flygon. Like you're really happy with this team. Like round 6 Claydol is insane, but like we got, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I see the vision here. I see the vision of getting it here, but kind of wish we would have taken it early and got other things. The vision, yeah, it costs 1 point. Raikou, Zard, Cloyster, Machamp, Venusaur. Really good top 5. Umbreon is not great. Quagsire and Solrock. We got like, Solrock's okay. It's pretty decent. We got 3 mons that are just like kind of okay to round off that good. Hey, good night everyone. Yo, what's up, Artichoke? How's it going? Decent. And then what do we got? Angela. Let's see what her team is like. Raikou, Skarm. Yo, where's where's Scrap? We gotta put Lombre's gotta get a point total. There's no point total for Lombre on the dock. We got the ultimate fake out lead, Lombre. Get that fake out chip early. I think this team's okay though. Like Raikou, Claydol, Skarmory, Hariyama is like a really good top 4. And we got Porygon, which is like okay. I don't know if I feel about Porygon. And then Entei is like our mid-tier speed option, which like I really want to see how this team does, because this, to me, this team would be like a good like kind of case study, and like if their value for Entei is like really there in this type of team, like this would kind of show up. I think Entei's good, and then Banette, really good 5-point ghost. Like if you're looking for cheap ghosts and you don't want to like, you want to spend a little bit more than your 1 point, Bayonet for 5 points, you just can't go wrong with that kind of option. So yeah, where's our Goat Scruff? We gotta get let me throw it in the mod chat. We gotta get our Goat Lombre with 1 point. Hold on, where's Scruff? Alright, there we go. We'll get Scruff to give it the 1 point. 0 points would be drip, but unfortunately that's not what we're going for. Alright, we're right down to 64 now. Interesting pool this. Thanks for the pool review, streamer. No problem, Mathx. Good luck in pools. If I have to guess, do I like your chances coming out of this? Look, Regice, look, I was gonna say you got a lot of Raikous here, but you got Regice. And look, if I'm fighting Raikou, Regice is kind of at the top of my list of guys I want on my team if I'm going against Raikou. So I think you're looking at a decent spot there. Let's look at Crit Goss team. They requested this. Who else have we got in here? We got Ashy in this pool. I don't know if I necessarily recognize the rest of the people here. Let's see what Crit Goss team is like. Already down a game, lost to Ashy. So Trivia found him on my draft. Butterfree is the first one I knew I wanted because it sells amazing budget status spreader. I meant to draft Flygon before Houndoom, but I got distracted. Well, I think you got the order of them right. I think Houndoom's probably better than Flygon, but let's see what we got here. We got Lax, Machamp. Like we're putting hell on like these physical defensive Pokemon. Like your opponent's physical defense is going to be putting in overtime to try to keep these 2 Pokemon back. Melodic's a good switch in. Houndoom is kind of nice as a way to like break some like common grasses or switch ins. Flygon, I mean, it could be, it seems okay-ish here, but like I don't love, that was my Machamp? No, 80s, that's unfortunate. I feel like Flygon's like, yeah, I don't know. I still don't see the Flygon vision, even on like this type of team. Regirock is pretty good. And then Tentacruel. Tentacruel, decent water, especially for like 7th round. Like, you'll take getting a Tentacruel. No way that, yeah, wow. Actually, double Butterfree, by the way. Dude, we got a lot of crazy low-tier picks here, by the way. Chimecho, Bayleaf. People went in their bags to get some Pokemon here in this pool. Assist, not a row. Oh, my apologies. But overall, I think your team, like, if I look at this, like, team, like, this matchups, like, your opponents are going to have a pretty difficult time, like, handling both Snorlax and Machamp. Like, your opponents definitely just don't have enough defense long term to handle both of those. So like if you're able to, I guess you don't have spikes. If Tentacruel has spikes, then I guess I'm bad at Pokemon. That's fine. But like I think your opponents are gonna struggle to like beat Snorlax and Machamp long term all of the time. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like a good use case for Houndoom here. So yeah, no spikes. Unfortunately. I think, no, your opponent's got some Regiseals. Houndoom's got some value here. I was going to say, like, we're running into, like, a lot of top tiers that, like, Houndoom just doesn't do a lot against. But, like, there's some Pokemon here you can get with Houndoom for sure. Overall, I like your chances, I think. Tough, like, to take a first loss here. But, like, I think Raikou's probably pretty good into your team. Pick for Fast Taunt, yeah, respect that. But overall, I think, like, if you just get your Snorlax and Machamp in often, like you're gonna break through a lot of these teams. Let's take a look at some of these other teams. T-Tar, Pert, Registeel, Zam, Weezing. Really, really good kind of like defensive core top 5 there. The only problem with this team, I think, is we're missing like that mid-speed tier breaker to bridge the gap between T-Tar and Zam, I think. Like, we spent points on Smeargle, which, sure, like, Smeargle's okay, but I always, like, struggle to, like, I always feel like this Pokemon, like, you're almost just better, like, filling in, like, an offensive breaker, like, instead of, like, having a Smeargle. Yo, what's up, LRXC? In my studies, I realized how important spikes are. Yeah, it's kind of funny, like, you realize, like, when everything is, like, not, like, stat creeped out of hell, like, you actually have to, like, switch into things. Spikes are pretty good. Meganium's pretty good. I think this team, like, really has a good, solid defensive core, though I feel like I would have liked an offensive Pokemon here instead of Smeargle. Raikou, D-Knight, Claydol, Machamp, Miltank. This team's nasty. This is a nasty top 6 that Ashy has. Like, Raikou, D-Knight is obviously broken. Claydol is crazy. Having Machamp, like, having these 4 Pokemon in 4 rounds, like, bruh, if I was drafting this seat, bro, I'd be laughing. This is a great, crazy thing to have. Why is the middle speed important? One of the things that's, like, critical for having, like, these middle, Smeargle First Ring, yeah. The reason that these middle speed tiers are important is that, like, it forces players in prep to respect speed tiers specifically. So, like, it forces a lot of, like your goal in the speed tier, I feel like oftentimes when you're building, is to force Jolly and Timid as much as possible. And, like, yeah, like, Hades makes a good point. Like, 100 speeds, being able to go Adamant and Modest here is, like, pretty crucial. And, like, a lot of that's a big game, right? To, like, be able to run Adamant and Modest. And especially in a format like this, where damage can be so hard to come by, like, those minute changes are going to be really important, where stats are not min-maxed. I couldn't break through Machamp and Claydol, which is why I lost. Machamp's is crazy good. Honestly, like, I mean, you have Machamp, so you're building with it, and you know that. But, like, man, Machamp is such a good Pokemon, honestly. So, I mean, no shame in that, really. Yeah, especially Claydol. Like, this team's just well put together. Golduck has some value. Will Golduck actually work in the tier this time? Who's to say? We don't. They told us it's working, okay? Like, we've been told that it worked. And then we got Bayleaf. I don't know if Bayleaf has ever hit in the fucking field. Bayleaf is fucking hitting Goldenrod Town, and that's about it. We're waffling so long on this pool. Mensch, Jolteon, Registeel, Vaporeon, Machamp. Another Machamp team. This team's pretty decent. BP into Machamp is obviously broken, because like if you look at, like, Crit Goth, if we look at your team here, like, what do you gotta get? Like, you can switch into your Snorlax, but then they Baton Pass to Machamp. Like, there's some tough sequences into your team right here. Yeah, I see. Like, this is, like, the power of, like, Baton Pass here, right? Like, these teams with Baton Pass can do so much more to enable their powerful fighters. And the other team, Black Starmie, good start. Flygon, question mark. Charizard, yeah, this team's okay too. Don't know how I necessarily feel about it. What up? I was watching earlier. It's a good time. Hell yeah, welcome back. Emerald Open, man, this is a fun tournament. I love Emerald Open so much. We're gonna do so many streams. I don't know how many streams we're gonna do. We at least got 2 streams. After this, I'm going to Vancouver Regionals for VGC. Complete opposite perspective of Pokemon than what you're seeing here. But then we'll be back the weekend after for that. But Crit Goth, I think your team, I like it. I think you have pretty good positive Snorlax Machamp matchups. I think you just ran into a goated team in your first like game, right? Like, you just ran to a goated team. It is what it is. That's just gonna happen sometimes in draft. There's only so much you can do about that sometimes. It happens, yeah. All right, let's go to Pool 3. My friends didn't want me in Vancouver. I wish I could go. D-Ray, we would have loved to have you, but you know what? It is what it is. We'll see you. We'll see you for the next trip. I don't know when the next trip is. It'll probably be Toronto. Honestly, there will probably be a Toronto one in the fall that we do again. All right. I think Jay Fane was the one who requested this. All right. Can we do a pool 10? All right, I'll put it on the list. As I said, I'm trying not to add too many pools to the list, mainly because the list is so long. Mainly the list is so long, and I want people who like request it to actually see their pools like relatively soon. You know what I mean? So if Toronto's cheap, I'll going again. Sophie and I really enjoyed the trip. Toronto's so fun. Honestly, I like the city is so great. I think like we lucked out that there was like a really good concert that weekend too. Like we got to do, it was, I mean, a little cold probably than you were hoping for, but I think like we got to see a good amount of what the city was about. I think someone requested 51. Okay, I think someone requested the McMegan pool, so we'll go with that. All right, can someone check if the 51 is the McMegan pool or the fucking Leroux pool? What's that guy's name that fucking has McMegan's Discord tag? I know Castle now. Is that actually McMegan or is that Leroux? It was warmer than we expected. Flowerface performs here. When is Flowerface performing there? Hold up. Well, I'm going to Songkick. You know what? Complete Leroux. It is Leroux? Okay. So we're not doing that one then because you guys got fucking baited. It's not McMegan. It's fucking not McMegan. Shout out fucking Minecraft Wood. Upcoming. Alright, this website just doesn't have it. Aaron Muir is surreal. Yeah, that's the thing. Alright, let's lock in. Let's lock in on Jay Fane's team. Shout out to Zapdos Dougie. Oh, we got. Alright, so we went. Yeah, Aaron Muir is 51. Okay, are both of them in the pool? Alright, we'll get to 51 then. Alright, we'll do it. We'll get there eventually, chat. All right, let's lock in, because if I keep getting stun locked, then we're not gonna get anywhere. Though, tell me when that concert is, Cass. I might fucking run Sky's Fade and go. Zapdos. So like this is an interesting concept that I guess we necessarily haven't seen yet, in that we have a double trapping team with Dougie and Magneton, which is really not common. Why do we have a Diglett? J-Fang, what were we cooking with the Diglett? What does the Diglett cook here for? Jump left spotted? Jump left for 6 points is pretty good. What are we cooking here? We already got Dougie and Magneton. Why do we need Diglett? I've seen a lot of... Alright. Oh, okay. I searched up. Yeah, in that area, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense then. That'd be a fire concert to go to. But yeah, we should do, yeah. Toronto will 100% do every time, because I think everyone loves that city when we go to it. And like, obviously, hey, it's benefit for me because I'm closest to it. And I obviously love the city, having gone to school there, or in that area. We also, like, in theory, have like triple trap, right? Because you have Misdreavus, and like running Paris Trap is like a pretty common way to use Misdreavus. So like this team is like super trap focused, right? Like we're all about trapping. Sky dodging, yeah, sky dodging is typical, right? I mean, what else could you expect, really, besides the sky dodge? I like this team a little. I feel like Gyarados and Kingdra maybe overlap a little bit more than maybe they don't overlap that much. Actually, I just like, shut up, T-Row. Don't give me that shit. I'm running Shed Shell. True. I think this team is okay. I feel like I would have wanted maybe a different type of offensive threat than Kingdra or Gyarados. Like you go with one of them, and then you maybe like attack from a different axis, typing wise. Because like your team, maybe this is fine. Physical punch, that's true. Yeah, this team does struggle a little bit with Blissey. Like you are a little bit relying on Misdreavus to like Paris Trap that Pokemon. Well, Garen never uses water move. I guess that's true. Yeah. I don't know. They both feel like those like awkward realm where like they both kind of just don't do enough. Each offensively, like Dragon Dance, HP flying is like your best stab, and then like Kingdra's got like a few different options. Yeah, I guess like yeah. No, you not chat. You're keeping me honest here with that. What else? I like. I feel like you struggle a little bit with that. Diglett beat up. maybe we use the Doug Trio for that. I don't know. I like this team. I don't know. I might have gone a different angle here, but like this is like a type of concept of a team that we haven't seen often, which is exciting to see. So I'll be curious to see like how like this type of team performs, because we don't really see these like trapping type of teams. We do see a Skarmory here though. Shout out Skarmory. So we will have an opportunity to use Magneton here. We got a Fortress as well, a good trapping target as well. So like this is an interesting team concept. I don't know, unless people have seen this before. We haven't seen a lot of like double trap defensive style teams like this. We usually see Zapduggy on offensive teams, but like Zapduggy, Magneton, Mischievous, like really going to trap and like enable like an end game with Gyarados or Kingdra. Not something we've seen before a lot. First team looks pretty standard. Jumpluff, obviously H-Clat like was cooking last EO with Jumpluff. Did a lot, and I think people saw a lot of the value with Fast Encore on Jumpluff. Heracross, like if you look at Heracross, like this is kind of what I'm thinking about Heracross. Like look at this, like look at these matchups. Like where are you getting your value with Heracross in this pool, right? Like it's just for 12 points, you're just getting no value. Right? Like that's kind of a struggle. Really late Chansey as well as Super Fire. Heracross 6-0s. Bro, what is Heracross 6-0ing in this pool? Please tell me. Please tell me what we're 6-0ing with Heracross here. I don't see it. I don't see what we're 6-0 with freaking Heracross here. Trust me, I ain't trusting you for shit. Podsito. Podsito's got a good team. I like a lot of things about this team. Raikou, Blissey, Fortress. So good hazard stacking. We got the GOAT Machamp. The Machamp stocks on the rise here. Lantern. We've seen a lot of Lantern. A lot of people taking early Lantern. This is a more reasonable pick for it. Dodrio is really cool. Podsito's a menace for me. Yeah, this team was kind of a problem for you. You're going to have to get some really good... You're going to have to get some efficient traps in this game. And Dodrio's got some bag, and then Duskull's spin blocker is obviously going to be super fire to have access to. All right, we got Baton Pass on this team. Ooh, this team looks like it really uses Baton Pass well. So Zapdos, Dragonite, Registeel, good starting option. I feel like Baton Passing into Kangaskhan and Medicham is super good, and we got a Slowbro. Like, we got a lot of good things going on with this team. I really like Daisy's team. I think Drip Legend was like maybe... Like, obviously, this is like when I say this, I don't know what I'm not going to be like best team or whatever. Because, like, one, I'm not really going to rank them all. And two, like, I'm not going to remember them. But I think Daisy's probably my second favorite team concept so far. Venomoth is interesting for 1 point, and then 6 points for Rapidash here. So we got this next team. If you don't have interest in covering Pool 20, the list is pretty long right now. I'll add it to the list. But I would keep in mind that if anyone is requesting pools, don't expect to get to them anytime soonish, because we have like 10 pools on the list. So we're pretty far away. So I'd wait for a little bit if you want a pool request after that. But that's like 10 now that we have. This team, Scar Melodic. We have Medicham. We have Baton Pass with Umbreon, which is... I mean, it's a decent way to do it, right? Can we get pool 92? Thank you. Good call. This is like a good... This attracts enough of the people you want to take advantage of. The ones you want to take advantage of with Medicham, but like it is kind of a fraud Pokemon still a little bit. This team feels like, man, we just missing a top end, right? Like usually you want Medicham to break to have like another top end win the game. It feels like we're missing like a way to win the game here. Like it feels like we want like a setup sweeper to just like clean up after Medicham kills everything. Like our threat is Medicham, which is not great. Toronto School Rogers Center is neat. I feel like Rogers Center, like as a baseball field, gets a lot of hate for like being quote unquote old and like run down. But like the modifications that they made to it this summer were unreal, right? Like they're super good. I love that stadium now. I went there twice last year. And look, the Blue Jays are not a team. Also checks the top tier of each mon in that pool. Then look at like Skarmory. Oh no, we gotta put some glaze up for Jay Scarf incoming. man, they've really done a nice thing with that stadium. That stadium's super awesome to go to now. Like, some of it still looks a little run down, but if you go to the newer areas, I don't know. I love that field. The location of it, too. The location of it is perfect, right? Like, the location of it is perfect. Yeah, top 5 J-Scurf spotted. I bring my laptop to the stadium and do work there for the vibes. Honestly, like, I mean, that's kind of the baseball vibe, right? It'd be funny because, like, one of the things, like, as, like, someone who, like, follows a lot of Toronto sports and stuff, like, Toronto sports is very corporatized and, like, a lot of the venues, and, like, baseball is, like, no exception. I would say baseball's a little bit of an exception to that. You get a lot more of, like, the actual casual fan because, like, you can actually afford to go to games. But, like, dude, if you pull your laptop out of, like, a freaking Toronto Maple Leafs game, you wouldn't look out of place. I respect that. It's not like you want to watch the baseball if you're at a White Sox game. It's not like there's much baseball to enjoy. All right, so what's funny about this pool, I had J-Scurf and Seldonami. Someone shouted it out. Someone successfully dodged defensive waters in my pool. Hey, I'm different, all right? I got aura when it comes to getting my pools decided. So both of them were in my pools. It's funny. So Seldonami insisted in the draft pool that they had no other option, right? Like, Seldonami's like, I had to get Blissey Skarmory. You left me Blissey Skarmory, right? I remember Scurf was arguing with them for like hours. It's like, what else was it going to do? You left me Blissey Skarmory. Like, no, you can you can go something different than that. And then Dougie Blastoise, like, if you're gonna go, and then like Dougie Blastoise came back, like, I got to, right? Like, I got to do it. Like, you gave me no choice. It's like, well, I mean, you do have free will, right? Like, we don't have to, like, we don't have to actually do this. We can do something else. I like this team though. In the end, they really wanted Misdreavus, and I took Misdreavus for my team. Like, Misdreavus would obviously be super nasty on this team. You can always say Crobat first, true. This team ended up pretty okay. Arcanine Sceptile in the end as like what would probably end up being our 2 offense is not amazing. We're really going to have to rely on Spikes and Dugtrio to pull out some wins, and like we might get kind of picked off by a little bit of prep here. So as long as we're patient with this team, I think this team will be okay. But having used this style of team before, in TDT, when they add ADV that one season, look, we had like, Pythons is back. Pythons. I was talking to L5 about our stall team concept that was like kind of similar to this. These type of teams don't work, I think, is kind of the problem. Now, this team is a little bit different, but like these style of teams, I feel like are super easy to prep for. Even in ADV, it's like, sure, like you would think that like offensively it like works out, but yeah, unfortunately. All right, let's end this pool. I don't want to see the Hitmonlee lovers. That team, yeah, these concepts just like we did innovate Celebi, Regis, D9. They're not true. Something did come out good out of that team tour, and it was not me playing with that stall team. So these concepts, while like good to know you, I think in draft they struggle a little bit. Scurfy though, J-Scurf, what a team! I love J-Scurf's team. Raikou, D-Knight, Regice, Machamp. Fortress is kind of whatever, but like for 9 points, like we're at a point now where I'm happy with that guy. And Gyarados, oh man, J-Scurf, top 5 player, top 5 draft right here. You'd love to see it. Quagsire is interesting here, right? So like Quagsire is, why is everyone talking about Pesty Potato? Is this team on screen right now? Am I trolling? But like what's nice about Quagsire on this team is there are 3 hidden powers that you need to prioritize over HP Grass before you even consider Quagsire, right? Like you're obviously considering HP Ice for Dragonite, you're considering HP Fire for Fortress, and HP Electro for Gyarados. Like Grass realistically isn't even going to be on your radar, and like HP Grass, what is it even doing here against this team, right? Like I actually think that like this is like a pretty good way to enable Quagsire on this type of team and get good value out of it, where like you basically prevent HP Grass from being like a good move to have on your team. Let's take a look at the other teams. We got Lax, Skarmory, pretty good top ends. Machamp, which is pretty fire. Sceptile, Quagsire. This Quagsire doesn't do it for me necessarily. You're not creating that same hidden power pressure to get value. And then Entei is kind of our mid-speed tier. I'd love to see Entei do better, but I kind of worry that this team just might not. The composition feels weird outside of our top 3. Like, I like our top 3. This Lax Machamp idea is pretty good at like forcing a lot of physical offensive pressure, but I worry that we might not be able to pull it together. Is Entei worth for 11? I was told by the deep state that the deep state drafters that Entei is not worth it. I've never had a good experience, unfortunately, drafting Entei. That's just me, though. What do we got here? Metagross, Swampert, Charizard, Zam. I like this team. This team's got a lot of drip to it. Armaldo for 9 points. We got a Primeape. Shout out Primeape for 4 points. That's my guy. Needs to keep dropping. It'll probably drop a few more points, I think, this season. After this, I like this team. This team's got a lot going for it. They're killing it. Yeah, this is a nice squad. Celebi, Milo, Claydol, Dugtrio. No, Luigi, what are we doing? What's Heracross doing here for? Get Heracross off this team. This team's okay. I feel like if we had a better breaker than Heracross, I'd like this team a lot more, but as is, I'm a little bit low on it. I can see the Paragraphs now when Chasers murders Salanami. Yeah, I don't know. I see the vision with this team, but like this, like if you look at the matchup for like Chaser versus Salanami, like, man, this is over. I'm sorry. Like, I get like you probably thought you saw this team and maybe like it would cook, but like these type of teams are easy to take advantage of, I feel like, in draft. Yo, what's good, gang? What's up? Red Ale, how's it going tonight? How's it going tonight? All right, pool 33. I love J-Skir's team. That's like, in my teams right now, what do we got are my favorite teams? We got what? Drip Legend. What other ones did I say were up there? I feel there's another one. We got Drip Legend, J-Skirf. What was the other team that I said? Was it in the last pool? Pool 3? Oh, Daisy. Daisy was the other team. Yeah, I knew it was in pool 3. Daisy, okay. Those are my 3 teams right now. I'm on pool 62. All right. As I said in the past, I'll put these. I did actually get to pool 62, actually. So if you go in the VOD, that was like 3 pools ago. So I already did 62. So you can go back to that one. 22. I gotta remember. I gotta open up the thing. I gotta just keep this on this now. All right, what do we got here for pool 22? I don't know who suggested this pool. This is a while ago, I think. This is, let's start with the first Egg Bombs team. I kind of like Egg Bombs team. Ball, maybe? Yeah, that makes, maybe. All right, we'll start with Egg Bombs then. I like this team a lot. Tyranitar, Swampert, Moltres is like pretty interesting. Galeli's really good. You have the Jump Bluff. I feel like every Pokemon in this team feels like it can have a purpose in this battle, which like a lot of people like Bull are going for like this 1-point Gambit. We got Slaking on that team, which we'll get into. Pluff is really good for 6 as well. Like, I feel like every Pokemon has an opportunity to have a really good role in this battle. Scizor, as I've said in the past, I think Scizor is kind of like, with a lot of the Baton Pass rules and what I can do, its movesets can be kind of awkward into what you can actually do with it. Like, you can't run like BP agility and like have a stab that's good, which is kind of awkward. But overall, I like this team. I like these Moltres. I love Moltres as a Pokemon. It was like really high on my list to get in the CO again. But overall, yeah, I really like this team. It's like getting spikes up for Scizor, Moltres, and Tyranitar is super good. Ooh, Colored here, their team, Tyranitar, Melodic. I don't like the Flygon here, but I like everything else, like Nidoking. Someone was saying in the chat earlier that like Nidoking stocks might be on the rise, and maybe that's true. That makes sense. Like, I feel like this Pokemon should be really good as an attacker, but like in Gengar, like you're taking advantage of like the 13-point Gengar here, like as a cheap price, as like a 3rd round pick. The problem is that like Flygon is our breaker. Like Flygon and Nidoking are our breakers. Like it's a lot of good EQ spam. What makes Nidoking crazy in draft? I feel like the combination of like ground and poison is like really good. So like one of the common ground resists in this format is Meganium. And just being able to Sludge Bomb that Pokemon is really good. Like being able to Sludge Bomb ground resist is pretty powerful, and you get access to like some random niche coverage and a stat line that like allows you to use them on the special side sometimes. Yeah, the baton. Yeah, there's not a lot you're baton passing in with that team. Yeah, the physical sludge bomb's pretty good. Okay, yeah, Pool 24. Pool 24, this is the fucking most insane username duo of all time. Girth Lord at Medical Doctor, Throbbing Girth Johnson, 42069 versus Big Rocket Launcher 8, Heroin for Sale. This might be the battle of the two most degenerate usernames you've ever seen in your entire life. Fucking Big Rocket Launcher 8. That's my goat. That is like in terms of like a username matchup. That's an Aura Pool. Like Jake's right, Aura Pool. Like that. Like you can't miss this. This is gonna be cinema right here. Bulls team. So I think Bulls one who crested this. Celebi Arrow is really common. You've seen that a lot in OU. I haven't played OU in a while. I think the last time I played OU was when I played Retro World Cup, which was what, like 2021. I feel like Celebi Arrow was common then, so like I see the vision there. Regice is really good. Gyarados, Steelix is good. I like Steelix on this type of team where you need to steal. Entei, slacking RP. All right, is slacking the truth, chat? I was so close to thinking slacking, but I mean, what is it? Fast Encore? Is that what people want for? But like, you lose a turn. You just lose a turn. I don't know. I see what people are trying to do with this, but I feel like losing the turn is just so tough to like stomach. It forces prep if nothing else. Yeah, that's true. It's slacking is silly. Yeah, it makes opponents run protect. That's true. Someone did get around 3. And then I got 0 people I know on mine. Yeah, that's just gonna happen sometimes. Why do we have another Skarmory Steelix draft? Is there like a hive mind of like Skarmory Steelix players that like have figured something out about this format that we just don't know? This team, wow, is our only way to attack. I don't like the Heracross. I don't like only real offense being Aerodactyl here. Like Aerodactyl Heracross is like really underwhelming as an offensive duo here. Fire types don't exist. We got a Vaporeon. What do you mean? We got the perfect answer. Now this team, you know what I mean? Like you can switch in your arrow on fire types. Come on, Tiro. And then Umbreon, I don't really like. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this team. This team is pretty cool. Metagross, Registeel, Double Steel. Okay, never mind. This team's not cool. I feel like we have no Pokemon on this team outside of Metagross. I guess Metagross and Flygon, but they kind of... No, they don't cross over enough. I guess like Flygon opens up. I don't know. I don't see the vision here with this team either. Me getting burned by the Fire Blast? True. Doesn't have anything to support it, yeah. I don't see the vision with this team. I feel like we're getting up spikes and trying to abuse Metagross. But Metagross always feels like that Pokemon that like looks better in the builder than on the battlefield, unfortunately. Which is kind of... It feels like one of those Pokemon recently. It's like an opinion I've kind of heard about. Spend all day flying not a Pokemon. I was saying we're the only Pokemon that does damage. Like you're like counting on to like do a lot of damage, right, Tiro? Like Registeel is obviously better than it, but like it's not there to do damage. Yep, 21's on the list. We have a lot of pools to get to, so be mindful we're not going to get there for a while. And how long have we been doing this? Like an hour? I'm going to cut off stream request, like pool requests at some point in the next like 15-20 minutes, I think. Just because I do need to... I don't want to do the stream all night because I do have to get a video done for Sunday before I go to Vancouver Regionals. I don't know if any VGCers in chat, if anyone here's a VGCer. Should I reveal what I'm running at Vancouver Regionals? It's kind of an Aura team. I might reveal it at the end of stream. But if you spend enough time, I'm a VGC player, but I'm retired. Yeah, hold on. Do I have my Switch on? Let me turn my Switch on. Let me turn my Switch on. Hold on. We're going to take a little detour here into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. No! My Drop League battle is spoiled. No, don't look at that. That's for this week. Let's go to boxes. Look at this. Tell me this team isn't Aura, right? Tell me this VGC team isn't Aura. Rayquaza. Chen Pao. This team's got Aura, right, chat? Do we believe in this team? Do we think this team will do good? Do we think Rayquaza and Chen Pao will be good in VGC? Got Iron Hands? Yep. Yeah, we love Iron Hands too. That's gotta look. That team's got Aura. Whether it'll be good or not is yet to be seen. I played it a lot in the Global Challenge, and you got to be really aggressive. And when you don't know Terras, it's not going to be good. It's not that great. Uncle Mike with those hands. True. Shout out Uncle Mike. Rayquaza's the Crydon matchup's really good, actually. Like if I think of like what are good, Hope with no Cali Ice. Yeah, our Cali. It's funny because Cali Ice is the most popular matchup, but like the last two Reg G regionals I've done, I've ran into like a really bad Cali. Ran like two teams are really bad into Cali Ice. Is Pool 68 on the streamer? On the Pool streamer, it is not. We'll go to 68. I'm gonna take. All right, here's what we're gonna do, chat, because we have so many more pools to get to. I'm gonna take 2 more requests. The next 2 people who put their pools in and want it on the list, I'll do those, and then we're gonna end requests because I've gotten too many here to get done. So like our worst matchup is Cali Rex. We gotta like bring like Lando team 16 and pool 1. All right, that's it, chat. I would love to take more requests, and maybe I'll do it. I don't know if I'll do another one of these stream ones where you talk about teams. Because like I don't think it'll make sense. By the time we get into next week, we're gonna be deep in the pool, so we'll talk about that at the end though. Yeah, our worst match was Cali Ice Rider, which is unfortunately the most popular one. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm not good at VGC. The last one I got championship points at, I ranked Crydon Walking Wake, which had a really bad Cali Ice matchup, and that was the most popular one there. So maybe we got good omens coming for this one as well. Do you have a VOD channel? I do not, but all of my stream VODs are on the channel. So if you go to the channel, all of the VODs here will be on the stream. So you can watch the last stream we did, which we watched all of Emerald 4 top 16. There's a few other Emerald Open streams from last year. I did 4 streams for pools. So you can watch a bunch of pools battles from last thing. Request to pull it, pull it. I'm sorry, Darth. We got too many. I got to get these done. Unfortunately. Otherwise, we're just not going to finish the stream. And I'm not going to have a video for Saturday. All right, let's get in. What are we at next? 36. All right, we waffle another VGC. Who requested this one? I'm trying to remember. That's why. Well, this is what we got to do. I got to lock on these early. All right, let's start with Master Baguette's team. Master Baguette, Salamence, Swampert, Scizor. I like this team a lot. I like her cheap Pokemon. But yeah, they categorize VODs in regular. Yeah, so you can just go to the live tab and you can see like a bunch of like Emerald Open streams there if you're looking to see like Emerald Open content that we've done in the past. So yeah, the Baguette. I like this team a lot, actually. I love Primeape better than Twitch. Yeah, there's a lot of things that like Twitch is good for versus YouTube. We don't need to get into that. But yeah, it's in terms of VOD storage, YouTube's much better. Especially when they're going to start deleting streams in the future. I like our 2 cheap picks here, right? Like Houndoom's a Pokemon we've been talking about a lot as being a really good threat. I love Primeape. Look, Primeape might be bad, but I'm always going to shout the praises for Primeape. And then I like the speed on this team. It was me on Caps Lock. Okay, perfect. We'll get to your team next then. I like this team. I think it's a pretty decently constructed team. All right, Caps Lock. Let's see what your team's looking like. Ooh, we got Believers Need to Prove His Worth. Look, I'm a believer, but I'm not using it this time. All right, Caps Lock. Let's see what your team's like. Look at this. We got someone who knows that you got to pair Medicham with a Baton Passer. Jolteon's a really good Baton Passer for Medicham as well. Metagross is really good as well. This is a really good offensive top 3 here between these 3. Like really putting stress on physical defenses very, very well. Porygon 2, obviously pretty good, like pretty decent. I feel like not one of the more popular normal types that people draft. Blastoise obviously good. The only thing that I look at on this team and I'm like, man, I kind of wish we had was a Spiker. Like, I feel like we have a spiker to like enable our Metagross and Medicham a little bit more. Like, I feel like this team would just be super overwhelming. But alas, I think this is a good Baton Pass team with Jolteon specifically. And then you got enough going on with the rest of your picks. Haunter's obviously pretty good there. But the problem with Haunter is you don't have anything to spin block, unfortunately. So you lose a little bit of the value with our Haunter that you could have had. Chat, we have 28 likes, by the way, and 35 people in here. Let's see. We got to get to 30 at least before we finish this pool. Let's take a look at the rest of this team. I like Rhino's team, actually, a decent amount. Lax, Swampert, Jolteon. There's a lot of Pokemon that I really liked here. I feel like Altaria is pretty decent as well. This team feels just like a bunch of like okay Pokemon. It does a decent job of enabling Snorlax. Like, you can use Misdreavus to like trap some of its relevant, counterplay. Meganium's really good Raikou. Like, this team has good Raikou counterplay to it as well. We have Entei. Maybe we would have liked to see a different fire type here on this team. Yeah, if it gets a few D-dances, it's going to start cooking, that's for sure. We see kind of a similar-ish team here. Cross off Cloyster over Blastoise, but I felt like it didn't need the spikes. I don't know. Maybe you don't, but like, I feel like this team just like it would be so good at taking advantage of spikes, right? But I think Haunter's a better Yeah, look, obviously Roselia is fine, but like you have to sack Roselia to ever like do anything with that Pokemon. But like, I kind of would have maybe considered taking Cloyster over Blastoise here in this spot if I were you. But I definitely would have taken Haunter over Roselia. I don't rate the Roselia at all, to be honest. This is a cool team cross-off. Zarda is obviously really good on this team. Like, our top 6 is just like super powerful. And we got some good cheap utility in Grafrig and Hitmonchan here below that we can slot in when need be. Like secondary spinner if we want to do something else with the Cloyster, though we're probably not going to find much use case for that. And then Jolteon's like a good like baton passer breaker. A lot of good stuff going on here with this team. And then Typhoon, Carter, Metagross, Milotic, Regice, Zam, Arcanine, Solra. This team's pretty decent as well. We got a good spiker, and that hopefully this can make Metagross. We got a lot that can kind of go in here. Metagross can kind of enable. This team does a good job of like enabling Metagross to do very well. Mana for my own heart, true. All right, that's a pretty interesting pool. I like that. I think Caps Lock, I really like your team. I think you have a good shot in this pool. I might have considered taking Cloyster there though, over the other Pokemon, or over the Blastoise at least. Pool 11. All right, I think Seafmon requested this one. Let's see what this pool is like. So we got T-Tar, Zapdos, Dugtrio, Glalie, Donphan for the Double Ground, Slowking, Haunter, This is a really well put together team. Probably one of I don't know, it's probably not one of my favorite ones I've seen, I think, so far. But like, Dugtrio does a good job of enabling Zapdos. Like, Zapdos, Dugtrio is a pretty common duo that you see in ADV draft. Glalie is obviously a great spiker. You have good rapid spin in Donphan. That can be useful. Slowking is a really good water type. Haunter's like a decent spin blocker that you have to respect. There's a lot to like about this team. I really like this team. And then Jinx, I've seen people talk a lot about Jinx in like the chats recently. It's like a mod that they wanted to use a lot. And yeah, Zaptar is obviously like super nasty work. Like, this is a really good team to enable Zapdos here. It's my time to go. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the love. Appreciate everyone who's honestly joined this stream. This stream has done like has been like super good. What pool are we in? We're on pool 11. We have like 12 pools left. This stream has done super well. Appreciate everyone who's joined in. And then our next stream is going to be in a couple of weeks, or like a week and a half. We're going to start doing some pool streams, watching games live, which is always super fun. But yeah, I really like this team. What are some of the other teams in this pool? We have another Skarm Bliss team. I really like the concept that this Skarm Bliss team with a little bit more. I don't like the Flygon, obviously. This team ended up with the Misdreavus, which is nice. But trying to use a little bit more offense to go with their Skarm Blisses, I think the better way to build that type of team. Let's see what else we have here. The Zapdos team. This team seems a little bit kind of like a mid in that like we don't have like a good threat on this team. I don't see on Jonald's team here a pretty good threat. We got a lot of good defensive utility, and we can play some good long games with Spikes and Miltank and Vaporeon, and but we're kind of relying on like Zapdos, Arcanine, and Steelix to do a lot of damage, or like set up Melodic, which is not the best. What do we got here? We have another Medicham team. This team does have Baton Pass on Vaporeon, but I don't like this as a Baton Passer for Medicham. I feel like you're not inviting in a lot of the Pokemon that you really want to take advantage of. Unless like Vapor, it can only pass something. I think so. But like you're not, the problem is I don't think you're bringing in enough of the threats that you want to with Vaporeon for your Medicham here. Unless you get water types, but like, or you can like maybe catch some normal types going here. And then you have Haunter, which is okay, but you then also don't have a Spiker to spin block. Like I see the vision to like Haunter, right? Like Haunter like kind of makes sense as like a spin blocker that can force offensive pressure the turn it comes out. But like if it's not going to spin block, then I'm kind of like confused sometimes as to what it's doing on some of these teams. Seeker's team lacks Starmie, Charizard, Regirock. I like this team. This team's decent. Machoke, is Machoke value for 1 point, chat? Do we like 1 point Machoke here in this team? I don't know what Machoke's stats are like, but I feel like for 1 point it can't be too bad. This seems a pretty good offensive line. It dies, yeah. It probably just dies. I don't know what it's. I couldn't tell you what its stats are. If it's 1 point, I can't imagine it's like super solid. But overall, this team offensively at the top is pretty good. If I'm Seafmon, I think who requested this pool, I'm happy with this pool. I think this is probably the best team in the pool. I don't think it's bad. It just steals a Snorlax solidly. Yeah, like if you need a Snorlax like Killer of Doom, like maybe Machoke is good for value. I feel like a lot of people always default to just getting their spin blocker and like random stuff as 1 point. But like there's like other 1 pointers that can provide decent value in these tiers. You just gotta look out for them. All right, pool 44. Who requested this one? Ooh, shout out to Nova Blader. I've been talking. They're Nova Blader, Wi-Fi player. If you're in the Wi-Fi draft league scene at all, Tretufo, the Zinc Tretufo League, one of the other tournaments in the Hoenn Draft Invitational. So one other big thing to note as a part of Emerald Open is that there are 3 other tournaments throughout the year that earn points for the Hoenn Draft Invitational, which will be an end of the season tournament kind of culminating at the end of an ADV Draft League circuit. So I think that the Zinc Tretufo League is 3rd on the list. Where is it? Where's Scrap? Scrap will know. I think it's 3rd or 4th. I don't remember which one because I know the Volt tournament. The Volt tournament is the 2nd one. I don't know where this one fits in though. I think this is 4th actually, because Revival is 3rd. Mayor in spot, is Mayo here? Shout out Mayo. Why didn't Mayo draft fucking Raticate, man? Okay, whatever. We're not here to talk about Mayo. Is Mayo's pool on the board? Nope. All right, we don't have to. It gets. Oh, I did not know Machoke gets Encore. That's super fire. Yeah, we're not. Mayo's pool's not on the board, so we're not talking about Mayo. All right, let's see who. I don't know. Remember who requested this? Let's just look at all the teams. Jacob's team: Swampert, Regice, Moltres, Fortress, Chansey. I like that top 5. Espeon's pretty cool. I think that's a Pokemon we talked about a little bit. I requested it, but I'm first. Oh, you know what? Your username matches what's in here. You can tell that I'm starting to lose it. Get tired here. I think this is a cool team. Houndoom and Moltres feel like they operate a little bit of the same role. I mean, Houndoom does a little bit more. That's like my first thought here, but I don't think that like matters too much, especially like where you have other good options. Like Espeon is pretty good here. Yeah, there's hell overlap, but like good ghost counterplay is like pretty important here because you want to spin away hazards like a pretty good amount for this team to like keep your Regice, Swampert healthy, like that too, and Chansey I guess as well. Like those top two, like you really want to get your hazards removed, and having a good ghost wet check to pressure fortress, or good way to prevent spin blockers. Tratufo, what did Tratufo draft? Heracross. We gotta stop drafting Heracross. We got a Typhlosion here. As I said, this is my big hype pick of this EO. I think Typhlosion and Houndoom are gonna have big EOs. I think like the big winner right now is Machamp on the tier list. But I think Typhlosion and Houndoom in the end are gonna show a lot of value. Zapdos, Melodic, Registeel, Miltank. This is a classic top 4. Them Heracross hate has gone too far. Don't worry, we probably run out of all the drafted Heracrosses by now. I really like this top 4 though. Like this is a solid defensive top 4 that like can low-key put enough offensive pressure on a team. Like Setup Registeel can be good, Setup Miltank can be good, and Zapdos does a lot here. And then Typhlosion breaks a lot of steals, which could be problematic for this team. If he doesn't draft it, he explodes. True. The top 4 is like a really tough team to break down. Jake Stein. We have Metagross, Aerodactyl, a classic kind of overpowering offensive duo. Closer, so we got spikes on this version, which I like. Sceptile, a good water breaker. Scizor, the agility pass is pretty nice for Metagross, but you can just raw agility on that guy anyway, so not super relevant. Yo, shout out Grumpig. Is Grumpig the vibe? I know Hypno is like, the Hypno stocks are like super up right now. Like a lot of people are kind of all over Hypno as a Pokemon in this metagame, but imagine I was in that pool too. True. I'm in on Pig. It's got, yeah, it cooks. Yeah, it might cook. I haven't seen a lot of people use it. And then Entei is okay, but I think a lot of like us, we've kind of looked at like a lot of fire types that are better. And then Piloswine, like, I don't know, EQ for 3 points has to be decent, right? Has to be okay. Nova Blader. I helped Nova Blader a little bit with this team. Kind of consulted with them on a few picks. They got a round 1 pick in round 7, which is pretty fire for them. But like T-Tar, Swampert, Regice, Glalie, Hitmontop, like this is a decent top 5. Pretty good top 5. Like this does a decent, like T-Tar is pretty decently enabled here, I think. And you have Crobat here for fast offense. You're maybe missing like that mid-speed tier option just a little bit, which would have been nice. But Glalie kind of does that actually. Like Glalie at 80 speed, like this does actually a lot, right? Like it actually like people kind of sleep on Glalie as like a mid-tier offensive attacker sometimes. And then Rick Ross has Skarmory, Regice, Charizard. Yeah, we got multiple Regice here. Breloom, Blastoise, Steel. This is a good top 6. And then Electrode's decent value. And then Stantler is maybe a Stantler. I don't know. Stantler has a little bit of utility going for it, but I think overall this team's okay. I think if I look at this team, I like Tratufo's team the most, even though there's a Heracross. Oh, I didn't even shout out Sneasel. Like, low-key, I was seeing Sneasel in Hoenn Classic last season. Sneasel is actually putting up numbers, like, as a Pokemon, which is, like, kind of crazy. Like, for some reason, that Pokemon is, like, actually, like, had some good value at 2 points. So, I don't know. If you're in your next draft, like, maybe consider Sneasel. Maybe it's got something. I would say, yeah, you were definitely there for those Sneasel games. Sneasel was, like, cooking. For whatever reason, I don't know why. All right, pool 67. Damn, this is a pretty good pool. We got Gaiman, we got Sigmatic, Lou Rinaldi, a lot of names I recognize here. I think Wyatt1 suggested this in the chat, so we'll start with that team. Yeah, I can bet you suggested this team. Metagross, Starmie, Arrow, Machamp, Miltank. For 5 Pokemon, that's a demon team. I love this team. Just like physical offense, just like I mean, you have Starmie too, which is just like a great way to pressure Skarmory, which would be like one of the like pretty decent checks to your team. This is a pretty shice team offensively. Camera Up gives you a pretty decent like Raikou check as well. You have Roselia Haunter. The only thing I don't like about this like is if you bring Haunter and like to spin block, then you have Roselia and Haunter on a team. I'm not sure I really like that as like a way to round off this draft, but like Camera Up is pretty good, and you have like different hidden powers you want. Like you want a hidden power for Starmie. So like there's a little bit of back and forth there with Raikou to really like figure out how you want to, well, I guess not for Raikou. No, for other mons like hidden power. that might make sense. But I think Raikou gets to run Hidden Power Water here. Yeah, it does get to run Hidden Power Water here. Sneasel with Thieving Arrow. Yeah, Sneasel Thief is like a pretty, Thief is like a pretty common tech. Let's look at us, dude. This pool has got crazy teams. Raikou, Regice, Claydol, Machamp, Moltres, Scizor. Dude, Gaimon's team's fire too. I love Gaimon's team. I love these like Reggie, like these Raikou, Claydol combos. Machamp, we've talked a lot of Glaze about already. Sigmatic, they've got Raikou, Arrow, Melodic, Hariyama, Claydol, Quillfish. This is a crazy. This is a crazy good team too. This is a pool of doom. Like Fern's team, Fern, I think this team is a little bit behind the others. Like Celebi, Melodic, Jolteon, Flygon, Glalie, Dusclops. I feel like that's a little bit behind. But like that pool, like this team's still like decent, right? Like there's still a little bit going. Like the problem is Flygon here doesn't add a lot, but like Melodic does a decent job in these pools. I will say the problem with this team, you're gonna get Raikou'd. I don't like the Raikou counterplay with Fern's team. I got the average Raikou, but I also got Scarm too. That's nasty. Wow. Yeah, this is like a doom pool. And then Lou Rinaldi, like Raikou, Starmie, Dragonite, and Registeel. Like, what is going on here? Roar Jolt does something into Raikou. It does something, but like we don't have a way to offensively pressure that Pokemon at all. Like Raikou has so much inevitability against this team. Like we can roar it, sure, but the inevitability is there. This is like a nightmare pool. Like if you're watching, like if we're talking about pools to watch out for, pool 67, like this is gonna, like all of the games in this pool are gonna be crazy. Like these teams are all super, super powerful. I don't even know if I could pick a favorite one, to be honest. It might be Gaimon's team. I think Gaimon's team is probably my favorite out of this pool, realistically. The Raikou counterplay is running Flygon, Marshtomp. Yeah, I mean, that is true. I don't know how effective that'll be long term. That's gonna, you get the hidden power wrong and the whole thing falls apart, unfortunately. All right, what pool do we have next? We're getting through these. I'm gonna try to go a little bit quicker here. As I said, I planned to do this for 2 hours, and we're 12 minutes away from that. Where are we at? Pool 12. So who suggested this one? Oh, we already did this one. Oh, pool 17. I can't even read my own handwriting. How many are on the list right now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 left to go before we're done. Oh, we get Puff's team. Let's go. Puff's pool. Could you do 53? I'm already taking all the ones I'm going to do for this stream. I'm already going over schedule because I have to prepare for the trip I'm taking this weekend to Vancouver Regionals. So unfortunately, I can really only do the 9 I have left as a max, unfortunately. Maybe we do another one of these streams. People really liked it. Well, I mean, I ain't rolling the Polter up anymore. True. All right, let's see what we got here. I don't know if Puff suggested this. We'll start with his team, though. Shout out to the Hoenn Classic Deep State. Raikou, Blissey, Arrow, Gyarados. I like this team. I think, like, this is maybe... I think a lot of the other Raikou teams we've seen have been a little bit more threatening, but I think that like we've seen like teams that you probably wouldn't realistically expect. I think that's part of why also we do the redraft as well to account for that. But this to me feels like a more realistic Raikou team that you would expect to see in some of these pools. Arcanine, decent fire type as well. I like it more than something like an Entei for the same price point. Ooh, Darth Yoshi. I like this team. Metagross, Arrow, Glalie, Donphan, Mischievous, Moltres. I love this top 6. And Ludicolo is like low-key, like actually really, really good. Like you have a lot of water weakness on this team a little bit. And like Ludicolo like actually just like completely dominates water types for the most part, I find at least. So really like that team. Perioxo's team. Pretty alright for the fringe include. True, yeah, like there's some utility there as well. We got a T-Tar, Melodic, Moltres, Zam, Fortress, Breloom team. We got Quagsire here. Quagsire, there's some good hidden power. A a lot of the problem I think with a lot of the hidden power forcing on this team is we're forcing a lot of physical hidden powers, which means our special attackers still get HP grass kind of for free here. So that's a little bit unfortunate for Quagsire. I think J-Scurf did kind of the best job at enabling it. Let's see, this team here, Scumduggery's team, Zapdos, Starmie, Flygon, Heracross. We don't need to relitigate over those again. Cloyster, Miltank. I think Marowak's a cool inclusion on this team. And then people are just drafting Shedinja as spin blockers at the end. I still feel like Shedinja for that role is super hard to draft though, because I don't like that it's just like invalidated by Sand, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, like you only ran into one this pool, so that's not too bad, I guess. I think Ludicolo walled the Milo once. I mean, honestly, like it can just do that stuff sometimes, right? Like with Leech Seed, you can kind of just like exist in front of these Pokemon forever. This Void team, I think, it might have been Vice Willow in the chat, might have actually recommended that or suggested this pool. Swampert, Starmie, Regice, Kangaskhan, Regirock, Slacking, Pinsir, and Magneton. Do I like the Magneton pick here? Are we Skarmory weak? This team's kind of Skarm weak, a little bit, right? Like Starmie's good into it, but yeah, I don't know. I struggle to see like Magneton a lot of the times, like getting a lot of value as a trapper because it's like very specific what it can actually trap. Everyone's stepping on spikes too. We don't have spikes to enable our offense that well. Yeah, I think like if I was like building this team, like I would have maybe looked at something different than Slacking and Magneton, gotten some spikes here, and maybe a different attacker that can force pressure on Skarmory that's not Magneton, because I feel like Magneton, obviously like you can prep for it as well with Skarmory, and then it doesn't really do much as like an offensive threat otherwise. So I don't know. I like the vision of this team though. I think this team still has enough going on with it, but I think you're running one Pokemon each battle, another Slacking, Pinsir, or Magneton that you probably don't want on your team, which I think is my biggest concern with this team. Okay, pool 10. Oh no. Who suggested the Papoon draft? Who suggested the Papoon pool? No way, right? Are we gonna have to put some love on Papoon's name? This is a nasty draft actually for Papoon. Epic. All right, we'll leave Papoon in the dust for a minute. Let's see what you got drafted up here. Tyranitar, Blissey. Let's see where Quagsire. What are our hidden powers like here? Our hidden power, like we're forcing HP Ice on the Claydol Sceptile a decent amount. HP Grass gets switched into well. I'd say Quagsire fits okay on this team as like a defensive threat. You got Banat, great 5-pointer, Hitmonchan, decent 5-point spinner. Allows Claydol to maybe do some other things if you needed to. Although you don't need it to do other things very often in this battle. And then Blissey, yeah, Blissey also sucks it up, right? It's mainly like, can you use Quagsire to beat these Pokemon without having to like worry about getting hidden powered? It's kind of like the main thing that I'm looking for this Pokemon to have success. And I think a lot of your special attacker opponents are going to run HP Ice probably instead because of Claydol Sceptile. A little bit better utility there. Papoon, let's see. Let's see if Papoon deserves some love. Metagross, D-Knight, Jolteon. Yeah, you know what, Papoon gets some love for this team. He might not ever get back in Hoenn Classic, but he's probably going to get out of pools with this team in Emerald Open. This is a pretty decent, like Metagross D-Knight is obviously like a pretty classic duo. D-Knight pairs well with like basically everything. Miltank is really good. Blastoise good for spin. Xatu's got some bag to it, and then Absol, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't think Absol's really got much going with it, but Miltank is obviously really good. This team's got a lot of speed to it as well, which I like. I think a lot of teams we've seen have kind of been a little bit slow. But I like the fact that this is a pretty fast team. Forced a lot of Timid and Jollies. It's probably my top on those dudes, D-Knight Jolt Cores. Yeah, the D-Knight Jolt Cores are pretty good. What else do we got here? Charizard, Snorlax, Milo, Charizard, Jolt. This seems okay. We got another Goat Dragonair. We got Beautifly. I don't know how many people have been trapped in Beautifly. in this tournament. I think this team's pretty decent. It's like kind of like standard ideas of Snorlax, Milo, Charizard. And then Jolteon's pretty good. This is another fast team as well, which is nice. Why Beautifly or Butterfree ever? I don't know. Beautifly's got aura. A lot of people drafted Butterfree. Maybe they drafted, like I see another Butterfree down here. Maybe they got sniped of it, like genuinely. Like, not even trolling on that. We've seen enough Butterfrees where it's not impossible. Pokemasters team, Metagross D-Knight, a classic. Like the Swampert, Regice. We got Spikes with Roselia. Hitmontop's a decent spinner to enable this team. This team's pretty cool. Not sure what we're doing with Clamperl here. Feel like if we're going for something like this, we maybe go for like a Chinchou or something. That team's kind of interesting. And then we got T-Tar, Arrow, Vaporeon. This team seems like, yeah, it's kind of standard. I don't like the Umbreon pick, but overall, I think this other team, like T-Tar, Arrow, is obviously going to be pretty good offensively, and then Vaporeon, Fortress to enable defensively, get up spikes, and then maybe Venusaur to help break through some bulky waters. Clam hits hard. Maybe. I don't know if you're bringing your 1-pointer to do a lot of damage. I guess maybe. I don't know. I haven't never thought about bringing Clamperl, so maybe I just don't know the bag. All right, this is the McMegan pool, not the fucking Liru pool, Liru pool that people were shouting out earlier. We got DJS as well. BBR. I think did they win D-League once? Another Wi-Fi player, Gen 9 Wi-Fi player. We got a lot of Gen 9 Wi-Fi players actually here, which is super fun. Yo, what's up, Red Ellie? Hey, thanks for coming out. Really appreciate everyone who's come out to this stream. The stream has been super awesome and super fun, getting to go over a bunch of teams in this tour. We'll go with McMegan's team because I assume people suggested this to look at McMegan's team. Snorlax, Skarm. So we got a lot of good spike stack to support our Skarmory. Espeon. Early Espeon here, which is interesting. We talked about this. Espeon as an idea earlier being pretty good. So maybe we'll see what McMegan has to do. Definitely clearly running it high to get it here. Miltank very good. Meganium Classic, Snorlax Answer, Hitmontop. But like this team, I feel like McMegan's team maybe is lacking. I feel like I want one more threat on this team. I feel like we have maybe some... I feel like we want one more threat, right? I like a lot of the utility that this team has, though. Otherwise, then I think like this team should be good enough. Like this is a pretty decent Snorlax team. Cardinals 29, Zapdos, Gengar, Cloyster. This team's pretty decent. We got Houndoom, Marowak. That's good value for double 8 points at the end there. This team, I think this is like a decent like kind of like balanced team. No real takeover threat. I guess Armaldo can technically set up and win the game, but it's just like this team will just eventually like break through at some point against a lot of teams. What did DJS get? Immense Starmie is another classic duo. I guess there's like to a certain point like there's only so many type of duos you can get in this format. So I keep saying classic duo, but like some of the like enough of these are just inevitable, right? Breloom round 3 feels like a little bit of a reach, but I guess we got Miltank in round 4, and I would consider that sometimes in round 3. Steelix is pretty good. And we got the Mickey Ninjask. I don't know if Ninjask is good on this team. I don't know if I like Ninjask here. I feel like your team's like fast enough already that you're not really abusing it that much. I don't know if I like the Ninjask there, but Camerupt's obviously like decent pickup for Raikou as well. He was Wheel, by the way. I don't know who you said it was Wheel. I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what player you meant for that. Maybe Cardinals. Oh, DJS. Oh! What the fuck? How is that Wheel? Alright, hey. Look, if I'm the Wheel getting Starmie, I'm taking that all day. Another Metagross Arrow team. This has Kadabra, Shadow Kadabra. That's my underrated pick for this draft. That's my underrated picks: Houndoom, Typhlosion, and Kadabra. Those are the people. Those are the mons I'm back in this tour. But like Blissey, Moltres, Cloyster, Nidoqueen. This is a really, really solid offensive team. I think Kurthwak cooked pretty well with this team. Strict Sceptile. We drafted Magneton. I don't see the vision with Magneton on this team, right? Like we have Houndoom. Like we can run Fire Blast Ments to beat Skarmory. Like our team, and we can trap Skarmory with the Mischievous. Like I don't know. I don't really see the the Magneton here. Quagsire, it might struggle with hidden power, I think, a little bit. I think HP Grass is kind of free into this team. I guess you want HPIs for Sceptile. That's a common thing we've seen to kind of enable this Pokemon on the hidden power side, but I think some interesting teams there. Oh, I just completely skipped. Alright, I'm completely lost. Otherwise, I don't know. I think some interesting teams there for sure. What else do we got? Pool 20 now. We're powering through these last few, chat. We're getting through as many as we can before I completely pass out on you guys on stream. Cameron Blaze It. They were in my first ever Emerald Open pool, I'm pretty sure. In EO1. I'm like almost 100% sure. Fennec Master here. Let's see what she has. I think because, yeah, she was the one who suggested this. Wow, I like this team a lot, actually. T-Tar, Dragonite, Steelix. Ooh, round 4 Melodic. You can't complain about that one bit. Good spinner, decent spinner at Hitmontop. Alakazam. I think Alakazam, I've used it before, and like I've been kind of medium at times on it. Right? Like I think it's like a decent offensive threat. It's got utility. Like I've seen people use it well, but I always like have a worry about it. But like I think this is a pretty decent team. I like the speed on this team. I think it's balanced pretty well. Wasn't LRXC like going on about Blossom and Gen Chat? Was he like being a Gen Chatter about Blossom? And then we got Duskull, which we don't have spikes though. I don't know why we got Duskull on this team. I don't see the vision here. Unless I'm like completely lost and just cooked and just don't see a spiker. But I'm pretty sure we don't, so I don't necessarily see the Duskull vision here. But I mean, it's a 2-pointer. It doesn't matter. Like the top 6 are coming the majority of the time. The Duskull Glazers are taking on Spikeless, yeah. Well, like Duskull's good on Spikes teams, but you can't be taking on Spikeless. I like this top 6 though. Like you're probably not bringing Blossom or Duskull. More as a ground or normal immune. Okay, yeah, I see that. Blossom's a cool Meganium replacement. Yeah, if you kind of need that on your team, I could see that being true. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want for Duskull, then maybe. Yeah, I guess you don't have a good, like, normal plus Earthquake. You're kind of relying on Melodic to do that, and Melodic Surf is not dealing a lot of damage back to them at times. Blossom 5-point Meganium? Okay, I see that then. Cameron Blaze It. Raikou, Regice, Blaziken. Shout out Blaziken. Tentacruel, everything wrong with society. Tauros. This team's okay. I think this team has a decent offense, like Tauros, Blaziken, Raikou, and then decent defense with Steelix, Regice, and Tentacruel. I think this looks like kind of like a middle of the pack kind of team. Jinx fan got Jinx, thank God. Would have been a flavor fail. Flavor fail if they didn't get Jinx. We got Gengar round 2. I was like curious. One of the things I was really curious about this draft is I feel like a lot of people don't look at Gengar as being a 13-point Pokemon and rate this higher. I was really curious if people were going to reach on Gengar more because of the points total that it's at. And people be like, rate it as like, this Pokemon is like, should be higher points. But we see, so like people take around 2. That's what I'm trying to get instead of later rounds. But this team, we got a lot of good things going on here. Primeape and Jinx is like our cheap picks, have a lot of utility here. And overall, a decent top 6. I think this kind of gets to a point a lot of people, like when they criticize Gengar, are getting to. Is like, as like a 13-point, it's got a lot of like random offensive utility. But without a stab, it struggles to break through a lot of what you want it to at times, which can be a little bit tough. But overall, I think this team has got a lot of good defensive stuff to enable Metagross, and like you're really relying on Metagross to punch holes through this team. All right, Raidee's nuts. Got him. I got cooked on that one. Men's Melodic Glalie Donphan. This looks like a pretty standard spike stack. Men's team are a pretty decent team. Relevant. Oh, Metacham late. Okay. Is there any baton passers here that are decent? Yeah, I was like, oh, this seems like okay. I didn't even realize we had a Metacham here. Metacham's okay. We got Duskull on Spike Stack. Yeah, this seems pretty good. Like, this team takes advantage of spikes pretty well. Like, Donphan is, like, low-key, like, dealing damage with Earthquake at times. Houndoom does a good job at like removing stuff like Celebi to enable your melodic. I like this team a lot. I think this is a decent team. Obviously, like ways to get Metacham in as freely as possible, but overall, I can get behind this. And then Raska has Fennec's team. If they snipe you, like, yeah, fighting types could be tough. That's true. Like, Melodic has I think one of the problems with this team is Melodic has a lot to do. You're really relying on Melodic to hold the backbone of this team defensively, which they can do, but like you run a lot of crit risk with that type of plan, unfortunately. Raska, we get Snorlax, Claydol, Gyarados. This is an okay team. I feel like I feel like Gyarados is one of those Pokemon that like goes up and down in opinion so quickly. Like, it feels like it should be really good, and then it doesn't perform, and then it performs well. I mean, I think I might just be low on Gyarados, given what I've seen. But like, this team has a really good defensive backbone with Claydol, Slowbro, Weezing. Manectric is cool. Breloom's cool. So like, I think this team like kind of ride or dies on Gyarados. If Gyarados is like good for Raska here. All right, pool 21. There's a move right over. Who's in pool 21? Sir Artichoke. Let's go. One of the EO mods. One of the goats. Help us run this tour. We got 5 pools left, guys and gals. 5 pools left. If you haven't liked the stream, make sure to like the stream. See if we can get to 40 likes before the end of this stream. And also subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're going to be doing 2 pool streams next week. We got a bunch of people who've already scheduled their pool games to play. We're going to watch them all live. Those streams are super fun. LRXC has done a bunch of them. I've done a bunch of them. They're always super fun days. See super cool tech. Pools games, there's just so much fun going on. Like, the brackets games get super intense, you know, a lot of like high level play, but people in pools, I mean, sometimes people in pools just cook. You know what I mean? They just bring out the crazy tech sometimes, and it's super fun to watch. So subscribe if you haven't. We're doing that, and then we got a bunch of other Draft League content that we do on this channel every single week. Anything can happen, that's true. So who suggests this? Probably Artichoke. What did Artichoke cook this time? Zapdos, Celebi, really good first 2 picks there. Celebi going on round 2 is interesting. Like, this Pokemon just got moved into 18. So you would think the trend on this Pokemon is like top tier option. Looks to not be the case, at least not how Artichoke's pool evaluated it at. Blissey, good for round 3 as well. Regirock, Arcanine. Stepping into Saw, drop a motherfucking like and Saw. You know what I'm saying, though. We gotta fucking call to the action. That big time. Marowak is pretty cool. Is slacking? All right. Is there a slacking hive mind that I'm missing out on? Chat. Like, is there a slacking hive mind that I'm missing out on? Oh, Kurt's asking me for an L5 thumbnail. Oh, and what do I give him for the thumbnail? What do I put on the thumbnail? My team kind of got cooked. I don't know. I'll give it to him after. I'll give it to him after. I think this team is interesting. I don't know what the slacking hive mind is though. I don't like understand the bag with this pick. All the time. I mean, it forces prep, it forces protects, it has encore, I think, but I'm still not a believer in this Pokemon. All right, let's go left to right. How the Tori, Metagross, Swampert, Regice. All right, add another voice crack to the counter. This team's interesting. I don't really like the Umbreon. I've never been a Roselia fan, but I think this team... Yeah, no, this team might have enough to it. Like, I'm worried about the offense a little bit with only Moltres and Metagross. But, like, if you can run more offensive Swampert sets and Tentacruel sets, that just, like, set up Tentacruel's a possibility. Yeah, like, I feel like we're a threat down here. And, like, we're relying on guys like Gligar to be threats sometimes, which is not necessarily great. Your boy Xander, we got Starmie, Arrow, Regice, Breloom. This is a pretty interesting team. Arbok, is Arbok really the vision? I don't know. I feel like I've seen Arbok. I mean, I've also seen it drafted in like SV, and people are like, fuck. I gotta get Elf Kurt a thumbnail. What do I give Kurt for my thumbnail for BBR this week without spoiling it to stream? Bro, my team just did not cook, unfortunately. I guess I'm spoiling that I lost. Well, whatever. A lot of people are here for ADV. Keldeo packing me up. True. True. I gave him the prompt Keldeo aura farming. Let's see what he does with that. I should have done that before. That's on me. I should have done that at work. Got it to him, but all right. Xander, I like their team. The team Starmie Arrow Typhlosion team is pretty fire. Demon thumbnail on the way. True. Huz team Metagross, Arrow, Houndoom. I feel like we've seen a team that's like almost like exactly the same as this before. Like this team's like a team we've seen before. I mean, like Metagross Arrow is like a pretty common type of team style that we've seen a lot of. Vaporeon's a good defensive pick. Wisher into a lot of that. Flygon, unfortunately, just not it. But like we see the Houndoom, and Houndoom's kind of nice, but I don't know if we necessarily need Houndoom. I guess like grasses can be kind of a problem, so I see the Houndoom vision here. And then Free Day, Tyranitar, Gyarados. Round 2 Gyarados. We're high on this Gyarados. Is this another baton passless Metacham team? I feel like Metacham, like, look, it's 14 points, but like... I feel like... does it need pass? I feel like I've been harping on the pass thing. The problem I find is that, like, you struggle to switch in often or get opportunities to get it in without being forced to be like bulky recovery otherwise. Like what you really want is like baton pass to get in CB sets as often as possible. Like that's where Metacham really shines and provides 14 points worth of value. Just Link slacking is fun. All right, yeah. No, I respect that. I just know that like people are like, I've seen so many people like pick up on this Pokemon. People have been like gen chatting about it and stuff. But this team like Free Day's team offensively is pretty good, I think still. Like T-Tar, Gyarados, Metacham even without the baton pass, and Zam. And then we see another booming Torkoal here. At 21. Alright, pool 39. We got 4 more pools. I've almost cooked through this entire stream chat. We almost did it. We almost got through. Oh, my voice is already cooking. Alright, what do we got here? I don't know who suggested this in chat. So we'll just start on the left. This is the first Omastar we've seen all stream, no? I feel like Omastar has been like a super popular spiker in ADV draft for a while. Surprised to see this be like the first time we actually see it on a team. Zapdos, Claydol, Blissey, pretty common. We're threat weak here a little bit. Heracross is like our #1 threat with Arcanine, with like Heracross, Zapdos are our threats. Ugh. I like the team concept. Like if we're gonna, it looks like we're playing super defensive, but I feel like you wanted a threat on this team, especially when they could set up and be valuable that way. Chocobojo, or Chocobojo, I don't know how to pronounce that. Starmie, Dugtrio, round 3 Heracross, round 4 Kingdra. Wow, we went 4 picks in a row. I think we went like 5, literally 5 picks in a row that I don't like. The Heracross, Kingdra, Umbreon, Flygon, Roselia. I think the team composition is actually okay though, even though I don't like those mons. Did I already do pool 22? Yes, we did pool 22 earlier in the stream. It was probably like, it's like the first half of the stream. If you go back in the VOD. This has got a lot of Pokemon I don't necessarily enjoy, but like Starmie, Dugtrio is like obviously super good, and Arcanine's pretty decent to like break through Pokemon that would like wall those two. So like I think the rest of it could fall into place and be effective here in this team. We see Benjo. I like this team. We got Cradily. We haven't seen a Cradily yet. Raikou, Claydol, Gyarados is obviously really good with Hariyama. Like this is just kind of like a standard Raikou team, right? Like this is kind of the Raikou teams you come to expect from this tour. So like that one, Milling wins. We got another Baton Pass list. Do we have Ghastly on Spike list? Yeah, no problem. All right, we got Ghastly on Spike list. Don't see that vision there. Marshtomp looks okay. There's like HP electric opportunities, so like that gives Marshtomp kind of some agency to not have to worry about HP grass as much. But like Raikou Starmie, dangerous duo. And then Gyarados, Medicham, Kangaskhan to like break offensively. I really like this team. This team's super good. A deleted user with T-Tar, Skarm, Hariyama, Sceptile, Donphan. This team seems okay. I'm trying to think of like, yeah, I'm okay with this team. I think I'm trying to think like if we want another threat on this team. I think Sceptile's a good enough threat as is actually. So I think the problem with this is we've seen so many teams that just like are like T-Tar Arrow and like T-Tar other broken guy that like Skarmory looks a little bit odd on a team like this, but Spike, Leech Seed spam, and your defensive Pokemon deal enough damage that this team looks pretty good to me. 3 more pool shot. I'm sorry, the analysis is going a little bit out the window here as we end. I hope you can understand that these streams are not necessarily the easiest for me. Oh, shout out Slick Panther. In this pool, what did Slick Panther get? Zapdos, Starmie, Machamp, Glalie, Nidoqueen, Arcanine, Sableye, Aggron. I like this team a lot, actually, from Slick. I think Sableye for 9 points is a little steep. I'm not, like, super high on that Pokemon as a ghost. I feel like there are a lot of other good ghosts in this format that you probably don't really want Sableye for. But, like, Zapdos, Starmie, like, BP into Machamp is going to be powerful. Spikes is really good with this kind of team. And then Arcanine's a good fire. And I think Aggron can be an okay steel type to have. I had it in the last EO. I never got to bring it, though, unfortunately. One Love, Celebi, Swampert, Gengar, Heracross. Ooh, Smeargle maybe is okay. Arcanine, Umbreon, Torkoal. This team feels like it's missing a threat, too. Like, I feel like Celebi is going to have to be on offensive duty a lot in this matchup. And this team comp to have some like good endgame turns, or you're gonna have to rely on Smeargle Baton Pass to make your Heracross really good. I think is where this probably lines up. Oh, this is a really good team. Drab's team, Tyranitar, Dragonite, Gengar, Cloyster, Moltres. Like, yeah, this is a really good team. Azumarill kind of cool too. It's like a 6-point water. We don't really see a lot of Azumarill in ADV. So cool to see that. But like this is what I mean with these T-Tar teams, right? Like the last T-Tar team we saw was pretty interesting, but like having something like T-Tar, Dragonite, Gengar just feels more threatening than those kind of like middling T-Tar teams where like you have other offense you have to account for in this. Snorlax, Swampert, Moltres, Tentacruel. We went really early Pikachu here. But I mean, we still got good value in Nidoqueen, Dusclops, and Breloom here. Oh, I clicked on Discord by accident. Whoops. Discord, stop. And then we got, what? Salamence, Blissey, Cloyster, Heracross, Marowak, Scizor. This seems pretty decent. I think Marowak, like, does a good job. And Scizor, like, those are, like, 2 pretty good offensive threats here. I think this team is super Skarmory weak as a problem. Like, you're going to have to rely on Fire Blast, Salamence to break that Pokemon a lot of the time here in this matchup. So like that's a kind of a concern I have here. Yeah, I think this team is losing a little bit to kind of too many of these defensive Pokemon, unfortunately. All right, 16. Let's lock in for these last 2 pools. It's all on the same page. So we're down here. Let's start with Daniel's team. Tyranitar. This is another one of those Tyranitar teams that I feel like we're just super threat weak. I just don't have enough threats to really like pull away from our Tyranitar and like enable that Pokemon to be what it is. We have Magneton as like our way to pressure Skarmory, which I don't like. Stop, what's up? I'm D in 16. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like this is a T-Tar team, just like really is like a little bit missing the mark on like what you're trying to accomplish with Tyranitar. Like I don't think you really, like you want to pressure Skarmory in other ways outside of Magneton. Chansey's okay, but like this feels a little defensive to really get the most out of T-Tar. McMuffin Bird here. We have Skarmory, Starmie, Gengar, Regirock, Machamp. I like this team. Like this is a good Machamp team. We got another Slacking Hive Mind here. Like Machamp obviously opens up a lot for Starmie and Gengar to like impact the game. So like Gengar, while it struggles a lot with certain things, like your Machamp opens up positive aspects for the Gengar and for Starmie, and like this team takes advantage of spikes really well. Well, and I guess more so needs the spikes. It's got a lot of Pokemon that benefit from having good spikes. Donovan's team, this is another one of those T-Tar teams. Like we see T-Tar Magneton again, and like I feel like if I'm drafting T-Tar, like my next priority just can't be something like Fortress and Blissey. Like Blissey maybe, but like we need higher threat density than this, I think, to enable T-Tar to be as effective as possible. Medicham is okay here. Regirock is a good defensive, but like we need like this is a team that's screaming out for like a Dragonite tier threat to really bring this team together. I like your team. So many Sharks here. Metagross and Medicham are really good combination. I think Vaporeon, as we discussed earlier, is one of the weaker ways to like baton pass into Medicham. It doesn't create as much favorable turns as you like, but Vaporeon is really good on this team, I think. And then Sam gives you a lot of good speed. Like your speed on this team is impeccable, I think. And then Venusaur is good, and then mine and Piloswine have good value. So I like this team a lot, actually. I think this is a good, well-balanced threat team. Definitely going to function a lot more offensively, but Vaporeon does a good job kind of bringing it together defensively. Hazy Noir's team, T-Tar, Charizard, Gengar, Registeel. Yeah, this is what I mean, right? Like you want those like secondary and third offensive options in Zard and Gengar to really make your T-Tar team as effective as possible. And then Registeel is just like a decent defensive Pokemon. Where's our Quagsire at with Hidden Power in this battle? HP Ice is kind of where you want to be, maybe. Yeah, I think you probably get away with the Quagsire on this team in terms of Hidden Powers. So I'm okay with that. And then our last pool. Pool number 1. Wow, this is a stacked pool. Shout out to pool number 1. We got Seagull. We got C, we got Newman, we got Hades, Evander, we got 64 squares. This is a good freaking pool right here. I think pool 67 was one we looked to watch out for because like all the teams in pool 67 were like cracked. I think this is a really good pool player-wise as well. C's team, we got Snorlax, Starmie, Zard, Machamp, Venusaur, Wishcash, Electrode, and Duskull. We got another spikeless Duskull team. Is Duskull like, does Duskull have the sauce like without spikes? I know we've discussed it as being like a ground and normal switch in, but like, does this team necessarily need that? Actually, kind of. It might maybe need it a little bit. But this team is interesting. I think there might be some defensive, like, I feel like you're weak to Lax. Yeah, like this team is going to struggle with Lax. You're lucky that I think you're not facing a Lax here. See, he's not facing a Lax week 1. I mean, that's where the Duskull picks is kind of coming in. To force Lax into sets that is easily manageable. Newman. We see Mence, Melodic, Hariyama, Glalie. I mean, this is a classic, right? Donphan to have Spin. Ampharos. We see Hypno here. Shout out Hypno. And then we see Duskull. And Duskull here purely for the spin blocking aspect. This team's going to be a little bit slower. Definitely to enable Mence. Like, we're not trying to threat our way through with Mence by any means. But, like, this team is certainly pretty decent. All right, Hades, what do you got cooking here? We got Celebi, D-Knight, Regice, and Medicham. I love this, like, Celebi, Dragonite, Regice idea. Super cool. And Medicham's a great addition to that kind of team. Donphan, Lantern. We got Ghastly for Spin Blocker. Ooh, we got a low-key Swellow. Okay. Swellow feels like it should be pretty cool, I think. So I love the Swellow edition here. I really like this top core. Like, I really love the Celebi, Dragonite, Regice teams. I think are pretty good. And Medicham is a great idea to add. Swell is going to be Ninjask, but I'm happy with Swell. Yeah, I mean, Ninjask, I see the value here because you get good Medicham turns. Like, Baton Pass is obviously pretty good with that, but Swell is pretty sweet as well. Dark Catman. We got Gengar round 1. A little early for that guy. Ooh, we are very threat weak on this team. Skarmory. Dugtrio is okay, but we don't have a lot of good ways to chip for a Dugtrio, right? Like, we have Flygon. But, like, we have, like, Umbreon, Weezing, Articuno. Like, they're not creating a lot of damage. Typhlosion is creating a lot of damage, but they're just going to be able to beat the things you want to trap anyway. So I'm not super in on this team, I don't think. And then our final team, 64 squares, Tyranitar, Mence, Registeel, Glalie, Zam, and then a bunch of other good guys. Quagsire, HP looks maybe a little bit rough here. You're going to get HP Crash. I guess Mence requires HP Ice, so maybe you're actually good on that front. And then Mischievous, good spin blocker, great defensive Pokemon, and maybe some more Turtle value if you're feeling spicy. I like this type of concept for Tyranitar a lot more. Having the secondary threat is definitely just like a better way to build these type of Tyranitar teams. For sure, at least in my opinion. So I like this team. Chat, we did it. How long was that? 2.5 hours. We got through a bunch of pools. Thank you everyone who tuned in for the stream, either the entire time or at any point throughout the stream. Thank you if you watched the VOD as well at the end. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Like the stream. Do all that fun stuff. Emerald Open, this is going to be a super fun year. This is the biggest tournament that we've had in ADV Draft League ever. Not only in players participating, but this is also the biggest prize pool ever put up for a Draft League tournament. The last, I think we eclipsed the other one by like $200 at least. So like this is the biggest prize pool ever for draft, and in a format that's, you know, gaining so much popularity. So really fun stream. Appreciate everyone for coming in. Thank you, Podcito. Love doing these streams. Our next stream for this is going to be on March 15th. We're going to be streaming for like 9 hours, doing Emerald Open battle pools. Battle pools are always fun. There's always a lot of cool tech. People always show up with the crazy work in those pool games. And then we got a few other videos coming on the channel. Obviously, a lot of you here for Emerald Open. I do a lot of other Draft League stuff as well. So we got a Draft League format tier list for tomorrow. That I'm sure we'll get some some hot takes going. And then we have my Gen 9 Wi-Fi Battlescope every weekend. So subscribe for that as well. But thank you for everyone for tuning out. Next Emerald Open stream in a week and a half's time on the 15th. And then we'll be live for the 16th as well. So thank you everyone for coming out. Really appreciate it. Awesome stream. And we'll see everyone next weekend.